from Lowell Park in Cotuit. It's Wareham Gatemen Baseball here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Hello, everyone. Alongside me, Henrique DeMore. I'm Cameron Stewart. Henrique, a nice bounce-back win for the Gatemen last night. We talk about the old baseball adage, your number 9 man's kind of like your second leadoff guy in the order. Both number 9 and number 1 had some stellar outings last night.
They really did, and I think it's even cooler to focus, especially on the heels of this second Cotuit matchup at Lowell Park, about former Cotuit Kettleer Jacob Goldfarb. What a game he had. Reached base all 5 times he went up to the plate with a ground rule double, pair of runs scored, was walked 3 times, and was hit by a pitch once. Absolutely awesome, and we saw a little bit of lineup shuffling. Jeremy Idens in the cleanup spot instead of that leadoff spot. He had a great day, all things considered. 3 for 5 with a run scored, 3 RBIs. Isaac Collins, what a day for him. He's continued to produce at anywhere he's been put, 2 spot, 1 spot, 8, 9. But that is kind of his wheelhouse to get back to Isaac Collins and Goldfarb hitting out of that 1, 2, 8, 9. Right, it's been really good to see. Even Skylar Hunter's been swinging a much stronger bat. So the production really for the Gatemen, it has been coming in spades and in spurts, but it has been coming from the edges of the lineup, if you will.
Kim Waldachuk, a short but effective outing yesterday, but I think, at least for me, Henrique, the most impressive guy coming out last night was Lyle Lockhart. What a huge turn for him in that game.
No kidding. I mean, he was awesome. 4 hits allowed, no walks, which I think that's the biggest number you want to look at. That no walks, pair of strikeouts. 3 innings of work, 1 earned run let up, especially coming off the heels. I mean, he has made an appearance since the disastrous Orleans appearance, but it's tough to remember that, unfortunately, because of just how ugly that Orleans appearance was. But wow, I mean, what a way to erase that from the memory of what's associated with him on the bump. One of the few lefties in that bullpen. He's going to be much more valuable as the season goes on if he can continue to, produce on the bump at this rate. He's been absolutely awesome. Like you said, he went just as long as Ken Waldachuk, and he actually got the win. Just because of how things shook out. I confess, I don't really completely understand how wins and losses are awarded, but I trust the good people over at Veterans Field. But Tyler Kaiser had a good bounce-back outing as well. He got back to his old Tyler Kaiser ways. The sophomore had 4 strikeouts in 2 innings of work, and Pavin Parks, another two-way guy, 1 solid inning with a pair of strikeouts.
And I think bigger for Lockhart, you mentioned he scattered the 4 hits around, which doesn't look that great, but was able to induce a big double play, picked a guy off at first base. Things are certainly looking up for Lockhart, and that could be a big addition to the Gatemen bullpen after a rough few appearances for him to start the year. Gatemen with a big win here last week, just 9 days ago, a big 8-1 victory with a dominant pitching performance. Won't have Joey Matulovic tonight. It'll be Ryan Garcia on the mound. For more on that and a little bit more, we're going to toss it over to tonight's host, J.D. Rachi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cam. As always, great job. To start this game off, I am your host, J.D. Rachi, getting you going with the Gatemen Pregame Show, Gatemen Pregame Live. You'll hear from beautiful Lowell Park, a good pitching matchup on the mound tonight. It'll be the right-hander Ryan Garcia for the Gatemen and the right-hander John Baker out of Ball State for Cotuit, 2 of the better pitchers in this league. Let's get a little bit more in-depth first on the visitors. Ryan Garcia, the right-hander out of UCLA, just finished up his sophomore season for the Bruins. Through 3 starts this season, he's got a 2.25 ERA in 12 innings. He's given up 12 hits, just a couple of earned runs, 1 in each appearance. 3 walks and 16 strikeouts, a fantastic walk-to-strikeout ratio this season for Ryan Garcia, a guy that didn't average all that many strikeouts this season at UCLA, had just about a strikeout per inning. His strikeout-to-walk ratio and his strikeout-to-inning ratio has been excellent this season for the right-hander out of Sierra Madre, California. As for the home team today, the Cotuit Kettleers send out their ace, John Baker, the right-hander out of Ball State. 4th best ERA in the league for John Baker, a 2.17 mark in 5 starts. He's gone 29 innings, given up 32 hits, so the whip isn't great. And then he's given up 1 walk the whole season to 27 strikeouts. Talk about an incredible walk-to-strikeout ratio. You thought Ryan Garcia's was impressive. Well, how about John Baker, the right-hander, just finished up his sophomore season at Ball State. Right-hander out of Fenton, Michigan, going into his junior year up in the MAC. One of the MACtion guys in the Cape Cod Baseball League this season. Should be a good pitching matchup today between 2 right-handers, both coming off their sophomore seasons of college, and our own Marioters got a chance to talk with today's starter for the Gatemen, Ryan Garcia, before today's matchup.
Thanks, guys. So, Ryan, in your last game, you went 5 innings with 1 earned run, and that earned run came in the first inning. How were you able to settle down after that first inning to go through another 4?
I think after the first inning, I just realized, I just needed to continue to pound the zone and trust my defense. I think after that, I let my defense make all the plays for me, and then after that, it was just going smooth.
And on the whole season, you have a great strikeout to walk ratio at 16-3. How are you able to get those strikes in there, and which pitches have you been using for that?
I think all my pitches have been working well. I'd say my fastball and slider combination and right-hand hitters have been really effective, and then my curveball and changeup combo to left-handed hitters have been working. But yeah, I think the whole premise is just attacking these hitters and just showing them what I have.
And do you feel like any of your pitches could use more control or more work?
Probably my curveball. I'd say that could use a little more control, but I usually throw that later in the count, try and get a chase out of it. But yeah.
Have you been working on that in practice?
Yeah, Coach Lawler and I have been working on it, just try and get more feel and command. Yeah.
And the Cape League's a little bit different than college, where in college you can probably scout batters more. How do you go about that adjustment?
We have a system at UCLA that works pretty well universally, and I think I've trusted that to the point where I can bring that here and and have that work here as well.
And what is that system like?
That system correlates with fastball locations to specific hitters and how they approach with their at bats, and off-speed locations as well.
Ryan, thank you so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much to Mary and Ryan. As always, Garcia trying to keep a really strong season going. He hasn't really faltered in any of the outings thus far this season. A couple of outings ago, he did go 3 innings and had 80 pitches in that game, but really the walk-to-strikeout ratio speaks for itself. The ERA speaks for itself at under 3 on the season. He has been absolutely fantastic, and he'll be one of the pieces that really has to fill in and pitch well now that both Joey Matulovic and Connor Lunn are gone. So we've talked about the starting pitchers. How about we get the starting lineups going for you? First, for the visiting Wareham Gatemen, Isaac Collins, the right fielder out of Creighton, leads it off. He's coming off a 3-hit day yesterday at Chatham. In the 2-hole, no surprises here, Sahid Valenzuela, the second baseman out of Cal State Fullerton. Jeremy Idens into the 3-hole today in the absence of Austin Shenton in the lineup. He will play left field, and he is also coming off a 3-hit day yesterday with 3 RBIs. Lyle Lockhart, a fantastic day on the mound yesterday. Today, he is the cleanup hitter for the Gatemen, playing first base out of Houston. Paven Parks, the third baseman out of Kent State, bats 6th. Gian Martellini, the former Cotuit Kettleer, back at Lowell Park, hit a home run the last time the Gatemen were here, and he will bat 6th and play catcher. The 7th man today in the lineup, Ryan Kreidler, the shortstop out of UCLA. Another former Kettleer, the 8-hole man today, Jacob Goldfarb, DHing from Oregon. And rounding out the bottom of the lineup, Skylar Hunter, the center fielder out of Purdue. The right-hander on the mound today for the Gatemen is Ryan Garcia. Once again, 1 through 9 for the Wareham Gatemen. Isaac Collins in right, Sahid Valenzuela in second. At second, Jeremy Idens in left field. Lyle Lockhart at first base. Paven Parks at third. Gian Martellini behind the plate. Ryan Kreidler at short. Jacob Goldfarb, the DH. And Skylar Hunter in center field. And now the starting lineup for the Cotuit Kettleers, the hosts of today's game from Lowell Park. Leading off and DHing today, Zach Bierman, the DH, left fielder, outfielder, really everything out of Coastal Carolina. Michael Tolia, the left fielder out of UCLA, he has been on a tear of late. He's got 4 home runs in his last 7 games after going through an 0-for-19 stretch just a couple of days ago. He bats second. Thomas Diller, the first baseman out of Ole Miss, bats third. In the cleanup spot today, Will Robertson, Creighton teammates with Isaac Collin. He will play right field. Ryan Reynolds, the third baseman out of Texas, bats 6th. Duke Ellis, the center fielder from Texas, back-to-back Longhorns in the middle of the lineup for Cotuit. He bats 6th. Brady Smith, the second baseman from Florida, bats 7th. He was the catcher the last time these two teams played, but he will play in the middle infield today. Batting 8th and playing catcher today is TCU's Zach Humphreys, and rounding out the order, another Horned Frog, Adam Oviedo, the shortstop out of TCU, will bat 9th. Right-hander on the mound today for Cotuit is the aforementioned stellar John Baker. 1 through 9 for the Cotuit Kettleers, Zach Bierman, the DH, Michael Tolia, the left fielder, Thomas Dillard plays first base tonight. Will Robertson, the right fielder. Ryan Reynolds at third. Duke Ellis in center. Brady Smith at second. Zach Humphreys behind the plate. And Adam Oviedo, the shortstop. First pitch coming up in just about 8 minutes or so from Lowell Park. We're going to take a quick break here on Gatemen Pregame Live. When we come back, an interview with Don Snedden and the recap and highlights of the last time these two teams met, an 8-1 win for the Gatemen over the Cotuit Kettleers. We'll be right back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Thanks, guys. So, Coach, I was reading the article that Ian wrote, and you mentioned pitching as definitely a point of weakness from yesterday. What specifically about the pitching did you notice?
Well, we didn't throw strikes, and you just can't give them men on base, because then when they do get a hit, it means runs. So they have to earn that. Let them get the base hit, let them do that. Even if they swing and hit the ball, there's generally 2/3 of a chance they're going to get out. And obviously it's a 100% chance if they walk or get hit by a pitch. So we've got too much charity going on out there, and so the base hits are killing us because we have men on base.
Thanks, guys. So, Coach, they got the official word yesterday about the protest. How are you feeling about that?
Well, it's no feel. I knew we were going to win, so it's just a matter of when we're going to play it. So we're going to do that prior to the Brewster game and go play a 3-inning ball game. We're down by 1 run.
And how are you going to go about coaching that day? It'll obviously be a long day for the guys.
Well, it won't be that much different than a doubleheader. I mean, we just know we could play as short as 2 innings. I mean, so we have nothing to lose. And what I mean by that, it was already lost the game. So for us, it's just a win-win situation, if you will. If we win it, great. If we don't, we already had that loss.
And then looking at the past 2 games, we only had 5 hits 2 games ago. Yesterday, we obviously had 9 runs. What was the adjustment in the offense to get those runs last night?
Just different type of pitchers. Pitchers really dictate that. This time of the year in the Cape, depending on their rotation, you could be at the weaker end of the rotation on that. Not everybody has 5 quality starters, so it might be a little weaker. So the rotation really just depends upon that. And, of course, it's baseball. You never know what's going to happen.
And speaking of the pitchers, Cotuit's pitching their ace tonight. Do you go about coaching the guys any differently when you know the pitcher's going to be better than someone else?
They're just stats. How is he going to be today? And that's the whole key. It doesn't mean anything. We have our best pitcher going, too. So that's just on paper. So we'll see what happens.
And then looking at Garcia, what are you expecting out of him tonight?
Well, hopefully he throws strikes, gets 4 pitches over, and keeps the hitters off balance. And, maybe a 1-2 run ball game. Whoever makes a mistake first, can win this ball game on that. But, again, I've been here before, and I've had end up being 8-9 runs on this thing. So you just don't know.
Coach, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much to Mary and Don, as always, coming off a great win yesterday. Big bounce-back win after the 8-1 loss to Brewster a couple of days ago, and a 9-2 win over the Chatham Anglers yesterday. They'll try to build on it today in just a couple of minutes, about 5 minutes from first pitch for Lowell Park, and that'll do it for the Gatemen Pregame Show. So for now, let's send it back to our play-by-play broadcasters for today, Cameron Stewart and Henrique Damore.
Thanks, JD. Just about ready to get set for Wareham Gatemen Baseball here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Little pregame festivities going on here at Lowell Park. It was a nice bounce-back win for the Gatemen last night after faltering 8-1 to the last-place Whitecaps on Tuesday. They came back with a vengeance and Chatham to sweep the season series from the Chatham Anglers. Started with Isaac Collins at the top, guy who had 3 hits, 2 RBI, and got on base 4 times. As Henrique mentioned earlier, down at the bottom, Jacob Goldfarb as well. Guy got on base 5 times, 3 walks drawn for the guy who came into this team just last week with 1 hit on the Cape League season, and now he's back at his former home, Lowell Park, and he's the designated hitter for the Gatemen today.
It's a pretty cool story. I mean, sometimes that's just what you need. You need a soft reset button. You need a new environment, a change of pace, a new set of people coaching you, a new set of eyes looking at your swing. Because from what I heard from the Cotuit broadcaster is that the Cotuit coaching staff, they did take a special interest in Goldfarb. They took him under his wing, a lot of one-on-one attention to try and just correct his swing because he's a good player, redshirt junior coming out of Oregon. Clearly he can hit. We've seen it here in Wareham, but it just didn't work out. And sometimes there's not much more to say than that. But he's found his stroke. Both his hits in a Gatemen uniform have been doubles. One of them has produced 2 RBIs. He's scored 2 runs. He's found ways on base. And like you said, more just on-base production from the bottom of the lineup. Never a bad thing.
And we saw just in the game last week we had against the Kettleers here at Lowell Park that the team was trying to integrate Goldfarb into the lineup. We saw him play 2 separate positions to try and keep him in the game. We saw him play both left field and catcher last week for the Kettleers. So he was a guy who had his chances here, but as you said, probably just needed a nice change of environment, and he's certainly been a breath of fresh air for the Gatemen so far. Also, added in the mixed lineup, Jeremy Idens moving down from the leadoff spot, which was his spot all year, down to the 4-hole batting cleanup, and it put him in more RBI situations, and he came through, had 3 hits for the Gatemen last night, 3 RBI, stole a base as well, had a big 2-run double in the first inning to get the scoring started. How crucial is that, Henrique, if you can, with all they've lost this year in power bats, if you can just slide Idens down in the lineup and he can keep producing?
Well, look, I mean, if he's producing with that kind of pop, absolutely slide him in the 4-hole because, like you said, they really have lost it in terms of power, and I think there are other reasons, but I think you can point to that one as a big one why the Gatemen did slump these last couple of games. The loss against Brewster, obviously extremely forgettable. And that was probably the ugliest, where a lot of men left on base. We talk about it a lot. They need a big hit every once in a while. You're going to get Collins and Idens producing singles, doubles every day of the week. Even Skylar Hunter, he's been swinging a better bat as of late, but the power bats are gone. Bryant Packard is gone. Lyle Lockhart hasn't found his power yet. Pavin Parks, neither has he. But it's good. It's just good that someone has stepped up and become the power bat because you can't win a game on singles alone. Unlike, Brewster more or less did. Dominic Canzone, he was the entire offense for Brewster. He went 4 for 5 with 4 singles, and sometimes that's enough, but it's not going to be enough if the game want to keep up the pace of play that they're trying to here, and especially as they go for the 3-0 sweep of these Cotuit Kettleers.
And you talk about the big hits. Guy who's had a lot of big hits this year for Wareham, Austin Shenton, out of the lineup today. His first scheduled day off of the summer for the Gatemen third baseman. Pavin Parks will fill in his spot at third base and bat 5th. And also we've seen Shenton DH. That has gone to Jacob Goldfarb tonight, who is still down at the bottom of the order in the 8-hole, whereas Skylar Hunter will bat 9th. Kettleers just taking the field right now, or a couple of minutes away from first pitch. Also in that game last night, which was a dominant performance by the Gatemen throughout, they did get some good pitching. Ken Waldachuk, they knew he was kind of on a short leash, only expected him to go 2 or 3 innings. And then as we talked about earlier in the pregame show, a great performance by Lyle Lockhart. Went over 3 innings and only allowed 1 run, scattered 4 hits, but was able to leave a couple of guys on base for the Anglers. And it was a game that the Gatemen had in hand most of the game. It was 2-1 that they led at the end of the first, and then they did all the scoring after that, save 1 run for the Anglers in the 7th inning. But it was a 4-run 6 that opened things up for Wareham to end that mini 1-game losing streak, but a very demoralizing loss nonetheless, Henrique, at Brewster.
Yeah, that one was really, really tough. I
Felt
think
like 2.
It did feel like 2, especially considering the Whitecaps had won 4 games all year, and now they beat YD yesterday. So, there is an adage on the eastern side of the Cape, don't let the Caps get hot. I've heard that tossed around. They've won 2 straight. Their run differential stood a torrid -50. They sit 17 points back, 9 games back of the YD Red Sox. So they're more or less out of the playoff picture unless Orleans takes a fantastic tumble. But even they are knocking on third place's door. Harwich has been going through a tough stretch. But that loss against Brewster, that was a combination of a number of things. The pitching was erratic. Cade Cavalli did not have a great start. And then out of the bullpen as well, Jack Ralston had a tough outing. Brendan White was actually phenomenal. He shut down the Brewster bats, but too little too late. They'd already put a number of runs on the board, taking advantage of free passes, pass balls, walks, hit by pitches as well, and the offense was anemic. We'll go with that.
And after a good night for the offense last night, it was all this guy who steps in to lead things off. Isaac Collins, switch hitter, will bat left. We are underway from Lowell Park as the first pitch is pounded in there for a strike from John Baker. The big right-hander from Ball State has been the ace of the Kettleers staff, a 3-2 record with a 2.17 ERA in his 5 appearances, all starts. He's only struck out 27 in 29 innings, but he's off to a bad start tonight, and Isaac Collins just keeps things moving, shoots one to the opposite field to left for a solid base hit to lead off the ball game.
I got to catch up with him after yesterday's ball game, which he had another phenomenal day at the plate. He's pushed his batting average up to .313 now after a 3-for-5 day. And I asked him, like, what's been your approach? He said, look, I've been seeing the ball well, and honestly, he said, baseball's a funny game. I'm just on a hot streak right now. And sometimes it's just as simple as that.
3 hits last night. Already starts this one off with a hit today in front of Sahid Valenzuela. We'll take the first pitch outside from Baker for ball 1. Baker's last time out was back on July 7th in an 8-3 win at home against Hyannis. He got the victory, went 6 innings, scattered 6 hits, only gave up 1 run though, and struck out 6 in the 6 innings. So a stellar performance for him the last time out. Throw on over to first, diving back there headlong is Isaac Collins.
Collins does have a couple of stolen bases on the year, but he's gotten those more as he's been consistently in the lineup. He's flashed some speed in right field, but not a prototypical base-stealing threat, but he's a smart base runner.
Valenzuela's going to rope this one down the right field line, but it's foul. Ducking out of it is Matt Miller, the Gatemen first base coach. Valenzuela, a bit of a slow night at the plate last night. Just 1 for 5 on the day, but that 1 hit was in the 6th inning after the bases were loaded off a couple of walks and a hit by pitch. Valenzuela roped a double down the left field line and brought 2 runs home. Another pickoff throw, but getting back in there is Collins. One to Valenzuela is just going to miss, and the Gateman second baseman holds back his swing. So he's now ahead of the count, 2 balls and a strike.
Valenzuela just 1 hit, but did knock in 2 runs with that hit. Also came around to score, still hitting a very impressive .350 in a short Cape League season.
He's going to bounce this one first base side, but this will be foul as well. So the count evens at 2-2. It's been a really good month of July for Sahid Valenzuela. .393 in the month. 3 doubles, 7 RBI for him. Another pickoff throw, this one a little bit closer, but Collins is back in there safely. Thomas Dillard is the man holding him on at first base. Brady Smith at second base. Adam Oviedo, the shortstop today for Cotuit. And Ryan Reynolds over at third. He is guarding the line. So there's a big hole as the middle infielders are in double play depth. But they're not going to get that opportunity here. This disappearing changeup fools Sahid Valenzuela. And an off-balance swing and a miss puts him down for the first out of the game. And the first strikeout for John Baker on the day.
We talked about his ridiculous strikeout to walk ratio. It's probably not going to be the last one we see out of Baker. Cotuit has been an up and down team. And even though their ERA, their team ERA anyway, rests at a paltry .423, good for 8th in the Cape League, the offense and the inconsistency there has been what has plagued Cotuit here. As Iden swings and misses right through that one, looked like another changeup there. Something came off it. But there are games where Cotuit, I mean, they'll rattle off 5-6 runs an inning, but they'll do it just for 1 inning. They'll put up a crooked number out of nowhere, but the consistency just all game offensively has not been there this year for the Kettleers.
Iden's a couple of swings and misses, puts him down 0-2. Was in the 4 hole for the first time yesterday, moves up to...
The 2018 Cape League All-Star Game will be played at White House Field in Harwich Sunday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., gates open at 2. One highlight will be the Cumberland Farms home run hitting contest.
Pretty good looking pitch on 0-2. Baker going challenging instead of wasting one, but it just misses. New count is at a ball and 2 strikes to Idens, who I think was expecting to see one in the dirt that time. Diving back in there is Collins, who is still on at first after a leadoff single to start things in the top of the first inning. Idens waits on it, pops it up right field, staying in fair territory, and coming over is the right fielder Will Robertson, who will make the catch for out number 2. Trotting back to first base is Isaac Collins.
Tough here. We see Jeremy Idens in the 3 spot. Relatively unfamiliar for him batting in that 3-4. Lyle Lockhart, a guy who's used to batting in the 4-5. But Idens, like we said, a great day yesterday. Just hope that this doesn't become the pattern that the Gatemen offenses get off to a slow start. When they score first, the Gatemen have been nearly untouchable, but they have a hard time battling back offensively.
So now it is Lockhart, who is in the 5-hole today. Got the day off as a hitter yesterday, but as we mentioned a few times in the pregame, came in with 3 innings of relief. First pitch is down low to him, ball 1. Runners going, and Collins did not get a great jump, but he will get down there and in with a feet-first slide. So after all the pickoff throws and all the attention he garnered at first base, Collins is able to get down there with a stolen 1, and with 2 outs, Lyle Lockhart has a man in scoring position to work with.
Makes Lockhart's job a little easier, and like I said, not a prototypical base-stealing threat as Isaac Collins, but he managed to take enough attention away from Baker on the bump. Got a really good jump. Behind the plate, Humphreys a little too much time getting out of his glove.
This one's going to be pounded in there for a strike, so even with that man on second after the stolen base, Baker's 1 pitch away from getting out of this. 1-2 to the Gatemen first baseman. The 1-2, cut on and missed. Another changeup, this time at 79, is going to get Lyle Lockhart to chase down in the zone for the strikeout that ends the inning. Couple of swinging Ks for Baker in the inning. He leaves one stranded in scoring position. Kettleers getting their first cuts at it when we come back. Still scoreless here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails.
Back here from Lowell Park in Cotuit, Gatemen leave one stranded in their half of the first inning. They will now trot out Ryan Garcia, who gets the start today, facing a Kettleer lineup that starts off with Zach Bierman, the designated hitter, and a big power guy in the lineup, is actually leading things off today, followed by Michael Tolia and Thomas Dillard. We'll round it out.
And kind of on that theme of a weird placement, even though Thomas Dillard is a big power guy, you usually see him in the 3-hole. Will Robertson's usually the guy we see in the leadoff spot for Cotuit. And another guy, Michael Tolia, who has been on an absolute tear lately. He sits in the 2 spot. He's got 3 home runs in his last 6 games, and he should have 4, but he was robbed a few games ago. I forget the name of the team that happened against is escaping me, but someone hopped over the fence and took away a home run from him, so he should have 4 in 6, but either way, a very dangerous bat out of UCLA in that 2-hole.
So right now, Garcia is dealing with Bierman, who's at 288 on the year, 5 doubles, a couple of homers, and 14 RBI. for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleer. Takes a big hack at the first pitch and is unable to connect for strike one.
It is Bierman's first year as a Chanticleer of the Coastal Carolina, like he said. I want to strike at the knees. Played his first seasons at Polk State, where he batted 273 in his sophomore year. Hit 290. Led the team in home runs, RBIs, with a .509 slugging percentage his freshman year.
This pitch downstairs, so that'll put things at a ball and 2 strikes. Garcia looping breaking ball. It stays up, but too far up, and will miss to even things up at 2 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter, Bierman. He's going to slice this one foul behind home plate and out of play. Last time out for Garcia was last week in the big 13-1 victory, over the Bourne Braves out at Doran Park. Pitched 5 innings, gave up that 1 run. That came in the first, so settled down after that. Scattered 4 hits and struck out 4. Bierman gets a hold of this one to deep right center field. Skylar Hunter is on his horse out there, and he will slide and make the catch. Skylar Hunter, glove above the head the whole time, goes into the slide and robs Zach Bierman of extra bases.
Glove above his head, like you said. He's fighting the sun out there in center field and in right field, Isaac Collins as well. Neither one of them had very good beats on it. And running with your glove up is unbelievably difficult, and it hampers the speed of even a guy like Skylar Hunter, Yeah, the center and right field super machine, the Skylar Collins. But, like you said, a fantastic catch. He was doing his best there, and a sliding effort at the last second just continues to dazzle out there in center field.
So nothing new for Skylar Hunter out of the center field spot. This one is going to be rocketed by Tolia, but on the ground to Lyle Lockhart, who didn't even have to move, but will take it to the bag himself for a 3 unassisted putout. And on back-to-back pitches, Ryan Garcia gets a quick 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. For the Gatemen defensively, it is Lyle Lockhart at first base, Sahid Valenzuela at second, Ryan Kreidler at shortstop, and getting the start today at third base is Paven Parks. Left to right in the outfield, Jeremy Iden, Skylar Hunter, and Isaac Collins, so not really much of a change there from the everyday lineup. And the former Kettleer, John Martellini, is behind the plate, catching Ryan Garcia. First pitch is a breaking ball that misses inside to Thomas Dillard, who has 3 homers on the year and 12 RBI. He participated in the Collegiate Home Run Derby, representing Ole Miss. He will foul this one off to the left and out of play. Puts things at a ball and a strike to him.
Finished third in that home run derby. Highest finish ever for an Ole Miss participant. Sent 32 baseballs over the walls of TD Ameritrade Park. Well done by him.
1-1. He's going to foul this one back to the screen. And the new count is 1-2.
And the guy we know, Logan Davidson out of Clemson. He knocked Mr. Dillard out of the tournament. Another Cape League product.
1-2 with 2 outs. Devastating breaking ball, and it's cut on and missed by Thomas Dillard. The first strikeout of the game for Garcia. It's brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. Garcia sets him down 1-2-3. We head on to the second. Scoreless tie here at Lowell Park in Cotuit.
Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs.
To the second inning we go. Just a hit split between the two teams. A leadoff single for Isaac Collins, but he went nowhere in the first inning. He was stranded, at second base. So 5, 6, 7 due up, starting with Paven Parks, followed by Gian Martellini and Ryan Kreidler. Pitch in there for a called strike at 0-1. And like Parks had a couple times last night, he's quickly behind in the count, 0-2. It's a tough night for him. Struck out twice. Was 0 for 4, but drew a walk. He's going to sky this one foul off to the left and out of play, staying alive at 0-2.
Yeah, tough little stretch here for Parks, especially in the strikeout department. Last 3 games, he's got 8 strikeouts, 2 against Chatham, 3 against Brewster, 3 against Falmouth. But that batting average still at .231 despite all that.
Cut on and missed. So Paven Parks has made a trend of it, unfortunately for him. He strikes out. It's the second strikeout of the game, the third of the game for John Baker. Got a couple in the first inning, now starts off the second with 1. Gian Martellini, the catcher out of Boston College, will step in with 1 out and the base is clear. This one going to miss outside and low. The first offering to Martellini is ball 1. Sitting an even 200 in limited action on the year for the Gatemen. Check swing on this pitch, and they're going to rule he did hold up. It's just outside the zone, so 2-0 is now the count to the Gatemen catcher. Going to miss outside once again, so he's further ahead of the count, 3-0.
And the men doing that aforementioned umpiring, Brian Trope at third base, John Patala at first, and Tim Carey behind the plate.
3-0, Baker gets one over, 4 strike 1. Just 1 homer and 3 RBI for Martellini on the year. Those both came on the same swing. Back here on July 3rd, a 3-run homer in the 9th inning in his homecoming. Put them up 8-1, and that was the final score. Next pitch paints the outside corner for a called strike 2, runs the count full.
Heck of a job from Baker here, bouncing back with 2 well-located pitches for strikes.
3-2, right on the black, called strike 3. He falls behind 3-0 to John Martellini and then shows you why he's the ace. 3 straight pounded in there, and it's already his 4th strikeout of the day.
Like you said, Cam, not much to do or not much going on those last 3 pitches. Just 3 extremely well-placed fastballs right on the black indeed. On 3-0, Martellini, obviously on 3-0, he's probably not going to swing 3-1, looking for 1 pitch and 1 pitch only. But on 3-2, we got to protect a little better than that.
So now Ryan Kreidler will come on, the Gatemen shortstop. 2 outs, nobody on base here in their half of the second inning. First pitch is a hard slider missing down low. Backhanded in the dirt there for ball 1. This one cut on and missed on the outside corner fastball. That Baker actually took a little bit off, only at 86, but got Kreidler to swing through it. A ball and a strike. Took something off this one a bit more. Breaking ball outside for ball 2, 2-1. Kreidler at 269 on the year. 1 homer came back on Monday night against Brewster. And 9 RBI as he takes this one down low, and he's in the hitter's count now. 3 balls and a strike. The 3-1 going to be roped past the outstretched Ryan Reynolds and into left field, a base hit. Second solid single of the day for the Gatemen. And this one a rocket off the bat of Ryan Kreidler, and he stands on first base with 2 outs in the frame.
Got a little too comfortable with that fastball, did Baker. Left it well located. Kreidler, or not well located for Kreidler, excuse me. Kreidler took a good swing at it, like you said, ripped it into left field. Now here comes the former Cotuit Kettleer taking a... This has got to feel weird, facing his former teammates in this park.
Certainly must be. It's not like you're going from year to year where you're changing over most of a roster. These are guys you lived with, played with every day, went out to dinner with, and all had the same experiences, and now he has to go and face them. 1-0 is the count to him. Now that's going to run in on the hand, so it's 2 balls and no strikes. Goldfarb got to see front and center that last start by Joey Matulovic back here on July 3rd. A brilliant outing for him, 6 shutout innings. Then a couple days later, he was a Gateman and wearing that same jersey, the number 45, blue roads today for the Gatemen.
Yep, the exact same jersey. Wow, yeah, no, it's funny you mentioned that. The last time he was at Lowell Park, the dude wearing his jersey was making mincemeat of him at the plate.
And Goldfarb has been returning the favor the last few games at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of extra base hits for him, and on base 5 times last night in the win at Chatham. John Baker doesn't want much to do with his former teammate. He's missed on all 3. This one downstairs, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. Goldfarb taking all the way, and it's going to be just outside. Not a bad-looking pitch from Baker, but he will walk his former teammate on 4 pitches. And after a quick 2 outs in the inning, after a couple of strikeouts, Kreidler with a single, Goldfarb with a walk. There's 2 on for Skylar Hunter.
Coming into this game, that strikeout to walk ratio just ridiculous. 27-1, only the second guy he's walked all year. Obviously, there's that underlying storyline, but with a guy like Baker, the number he's put up, the numbers he has put up, especially over 4 or 5 appearances, this one his 6th, all of 5 innings or more. It's not likely that got into his head.
So now Skylar Hunter, who's been swinging a better bat as of late, got the day off last night, but is back in his center field spot. First pitch to him is right on the inside corner for a called strike 1.
He hasn't walked anyone since opening day against Brewster.
Wow.
My goodness.
What a guy to deliver that to you, your former teammate.
Yeah, no kidding.
This one on the outside corner for a called strike 2. He's battled back and is quickly ahead of the next man, Skylar Hunter, 0-2. And this is the 6th start for Baker, so that's not like he's pitching every week and a half. He's been in there very consistently.
Yep.
Impressive numbers. 0-2 is down in the dirt and gets behind Zach Humphreys, so each runner gets to move up a base, both in a scoring position now. Kreidler to third, and down to second is Jacob Goldfarb. So anything in the outfield for Skylar Hunter that gets down will score 1 and possibly 2. But he's got a tall task. It's still a 1-2 count. Here's that 1-2 offering. Down low again. It's going to get up the line again. Here comes Kreidler, and he will score standing up. A couple of wild pitches in the same spot that get past Zach Humphreys, and that brings a run home, the first of the day. The Gatemen lead it 1-0 here in the second.
Yeah, odd. Very uncharacteristic from Baker. The command has been there all year, as we've talked about for him. But a couple of key pass balls here in the game and take that 1-0 lead. And Goldfarb now at third. Seems like he was walked and sent to first not 2 minutes ago.
Now Hunter looks to try and bring him in as well. Hasn't had to lift the bat up just yet. 2-2 he does this time, and it's bounced up the middle. It's a tough play for the shortstop Oviedo as he has to go down to the shoestrings, but will make the throw on to first for the out that retires the side. A couple of wild pitches give the Gatemen the first run of the game. It's 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the second here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
And for our mid-second interview, we've got Drew Millis, the team cheerleader, down there with Mary Orders. Mary, take it away.
Thanks, guys. So, Drew, you're a catcher for the Gatemen. Do you think you like the offensive or defensive side of the game better, and why?
I mean, I don't really have a preference, but personally, like defensively, I'm a more polished player. So I think that if I had to choose based on your question, I'd say defense.
And you seem to be a vocal leader for the team. How do you try to encourage the guys both while you're on the field and also in the dugout?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been vocal. I've always been loud. So, I mean, it's kind of in my blood, like with my family and my dad, how I came up. But as far as, like, encouraging the team, I love my teammates. I love these guys out here. So, I mean, that's kind of where it starts.
Drew, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, as always, Mary, with Drew Millis there, who gets the day off tonight. Gian Martellini behind the plate. Definitely one of the most vocal guys, definitely one of the most positive guys on the team. Great teammate, always a great interview for us.
The Gatemen obviously have had a ton to be positive about. Their 11th loss of the year also just obliterated because of that protest of the Gatemen back down to 16-10, gained an entire game on Hyannis despite them winning after yesterday. And Cotuit were at the hands of a Hyannis loss yesterday, 5-2.
First pitch is going to be roped foul down the right field line by Will Robertson. Again, that next Wednesday, that will be the 18th of July, we will bring you Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network twice in two different ballparks. Finish the protested game at 12 o'clock in McKeon Park in Hyannis, and then it's right down to Stony Brook and Brewster to take on the Whitecaps at 5 o'clock. We'll have both of those games here for you on the Gatemen Baseball Network. 0-2 is now the count to Robertson after Garcia set the first three men down in order in the first inning. 0-2 is a waste pitch down in the dirt, and Robertson holds up. 4-1.
And he did it on 11 pitches as well. And that top of the lineup for Cotuit is really the tough part. Will Robertson, another guy who has had success at the plate, but you get past Robertson, things get a whole lot easier. It's going to be key for Garcia to keep that pitch count down.
This one going to be cut on and missed, and going down is Will Robertson. Second strikeout of the day, second in order, going back to the first inning for Ryan Garcia. It's brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. It's now Ryan Reynolds, the third baseman, will stand in from the left side, hitting at .222 for the Kettleers on the year, after finishing up in Omaha in the College World Series for the Texas Longhorns. First pitch misses downstairs from Garcia, 1-0. State of Texas well represented in the lineup today. 2 Longhorns and 2 TCU Horned Frogs for the Kettleers. This pitch is swung through from Ryan Garcia by Ryan Reynolds. That evens things at 1-1.
It's two of your favorite teams, huh, Cam?
Sure are. Sure are. This one's going to be sliced foul off to the left. So puts him behind the count 1-2. Got to see a couple of Baylor guys this year. Hayden Kettler for Hyannis. Davis Wenzel, of course, for the Harbor Hawks as well. And Cody Bradford for Chatham. The 1-2. Cut on and missed. It's held on to by Gian Martellini. And that's 3 in a row now for Ryan Garcia. That trifecta is brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen.
That low breaking ball, this is good stuff. We're seeing out of Garcia right now, and this is like the Orleans start that he had, his Cape League debut, but he's kept the pitch count down so far. Just the 20th pitch of the day coming in here.
And it's another swing and a miss, and he's making these Kettleers hitters look foolish. This is the second of the two back-to-back Texas Longhorns. Duke Ellis, the center fielder, stand in and hit left. He's down 0-1. This one, a hard fastball for Garcia standards, 91 miles an hour, but well upstairs. Evens things at a ball and a strike. One is down low, backhanded by Gian Martellini, but that puts Ellis ahead of the count, 2 balls and a strike. No one on base, 2 outs. And Garcia has set down all 5 Cotuit batters he's faced. 2-1. Up letter high and inside. So now 3-1 is the count to Ellis. Was at 227 on the year. No homers, just 1 RBI. Going to take this one a bit too far inside, and the Kettleers have their first base runner of the day. It's a 2-out free pass to Duke Ellis. So there's a man on first now with 2 gone for the second baseman, Brady Smith. Smith, the second baseman from Princeton, from Florida, an abbreviated season hitting .462. My mistake, the guy right below him. Ryan Smith goes to Princeton. He's ahead of the count 1-0 as that first pitch misses up high from Garcia. Throw over.
South Coast Health, operators of Charlton Memorial Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital, and Toby Hospital.
First base. Ellis from UT and Lyle Lockhart from the University of Houston. The 1-0 is up high, and a snap throw down is not going to be in time from Martellini. So after issuing his first walk of the game, Garcia is now behind in the count to Brady Smith, 2-0. Hitting .462 on the year, no homers, and 1 RBI for the Florida Gator. Another guy got to experience a taste of the College World Series. This one is on the corner for a called strike 1, 2-1. Smith got a taste of it this year, but of course, those Florida Gators were the national champions in 2017. 2-1 to him. Runner goes, and this one's going to be shot up the middle past the diving Ryan Kreidler. And the runner was off with the pitch. Now it's fumbled in center field, and getting down to third is Duke Ellis. The throw is close, but he is in there with a head-first slide. The hit and run eventually works for the Kettleers. Ellis was held up at second base, but after Skylar Hunter fumbled the ball out there, he will get to third. And there's runners at the corners here with 2 outs.
A little bit of a bummer. Not often you see Skylar Hunter unsure of anything out there in center field, but this could make Garcia's start a little bit blemished. We'll see if they score that an error. I don't know if they will, honestly, as it was a minor fumble, but it probably resulted in Ellis getting from second to third. They do, in fact, rule that an error. So the single is, tried and true. That is a single for Brady Smith, but that should have only gotten Ellis to second. But an E8. Those you keep and score at home gets Ellis over to third base. Now Humphrey's trying to make good on that.
It was a quick 2 outs to start the frame, a couple of strikeouts for Garcia. The next 2 have reached. And now Zach Humphreys fouls the first pitch back to the screen. He's behind in the count 0-1. It's the first hit of the day for the Kettleers, just 2 for the Gatemen in the early going. Check on the runner at first base, Brady Smith. He's down in there safely. Humphreys at 239 on the year. Couple of doubles, 1 homer, 3 RBI. It's a breaking ball that's left upstairs, so it evens things up at a ball and a strike. Two out and 2 on. The 1-1 is going to be fouled straight back and out of play, back beside us. And that'll put Garcia ahead of the count, 1-2. Looking to strike out the side here. He struck out the first 2 men in the frame.
Both pitchers in this inning got off to good starts, but are now running into some trouble. Gatemen were able to capitalize on the top of the second. Cotuit trying to do the same here.
Garcia has got the man hung up between first and second and Brady Smith. Runner at third did not even attempt to go home. So Brady Smith has no sense in getting in a rundown. He is dead to rights in a very quirky, weird third out of the inning. So Garcia will only leave one stranded in the end, but we head on to the third inning here from Lowell Park and Cotuit. 1-0, the Gatemen ahead.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you.
Back here for the third inning in Cotuit. John Baker out for his third inning of work. Brought a run home the easy way for the Gatemen in the last inning. With runners at first and second, a wild pitch moved them both up. Next pitch got away as well, and that scored Ryan Kreidler. That's where we stand with a 1-0 score as we head on over to the third. Been 2 hits. Kreidler got one of them. A single in the second, a single in the first for Isaac Collins, and that has been it on the Wareham side. And it is their second baseman, Collins, who will start things off in the top of the third inning. That has been a steady rising batting average for the Creighton Blue Jay from Maple Grove, Minnesota, now at .313. Looking to build off this one here as he shoots it to the gap in right center field. Duke Ellis had a tough time tracking it down, but he does backhand it. Nonetheless, into second base with a stand-up double is Isaac Collins. And this man is just on fire right now for the Gatemen. 2 for 2, a single and a double. And he has figured out John Baker in the first 3 innings. So he stands in scoring position to lead things off. Zahid Valenzuela will now stride to the plate. Looked foolish on a swinging strikeout his first time up. First offering not to be made just yet. Baker steps off the mound and runs Isaac Collins back to second base. Kettleers will be at Spillane Field tomorrow to take on the Gatemen. A little home-and-home series, second one of those we've had this week. Of course, with Brewster at home on Monday and that at Stony Brook for that loss on Tuesday and a makeup of last Friday's game. Valenzuela squared around a bump, but the last pitch was on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1 to him. This time he's swinging away, and he grounds it to the first baseman, Dillard, who fumbles it for a moment, but will take it on to the first base bag himself for the 3 unassisted. It's 0 for 2 for Zahid Valenzuela today, but moving up to third is Isaac Collins. And he's in scoring position 90 feet away for one of the best RBI men in the lineup for the Gatemen this year, who's moved into a prime RBI spot, Jeremy Idens. At .351 on the season, 16 RBI, 3 more for him last night. First offering is going to be skied out to right field. This looks an awful lot like RBI number 17. It's going to be brought down there. The throw is going to be way up the third baseline, and coming in to score on the sacrifice fly is Isaac Collins. Couple of outs advance the runner home for the Gatemen. With 2 gone in the third, they now lead 2-0. So Lyle Lockhart, switch hitting first baseman, will bat left with nobody on base and 2 out in the frame. First offering to him is going to be a fastball in the outside corner for a called strike 1. Nothing too hard from John Baker. Hasn't really touched above 90 so far, but he's placed that fastball really well. This one a breaking pitch that snaps off on the inside corner, but too far. So Lockhart takes it for ball 1. 1-1 is going to be sliced off foul to the left and out of play past the Kettleers Rooters section here at Lowell Park, which as always is packed to the brim down the third base line. 1-2, bounced foul off to the right in front of the Gatemen dugout. So Lockhart stays in there at that 1-2 count. Lockhart late on this swing and will foul it off to the left, out of play once again. He's hanging in there. Lockhart still waiting to get going, just 226 on the year. A triple, 1 home run, that came against YD in the doubleheader a few weeks back, and 9 RBI for the first baseman from Friendswood, Texas. He's going to bounce this one over the head of John Baker, and that's going to find its way into center field for a base hit. So Lockhart with a 2-out single. A bit of a weird play there by Baker. It wasn't exactly over his head. He kind of alligator-armed the glove, thinking a middle infielder might get to it, but instead it goes over the second base bag. And Lockhart has the 4th hit of the day off Baker for the Gatemen. And with 2 outs, he's on first, and Pavin Parks will stride up to the plate. Parks takes the first one. That's a bit of extra hair on it from Baker. That one clocked at 94 here on the Lowell Park scoreboard. But it's outside for ball 1. One-0 to him, same spot. Unfortunately for Baker, that's still outside, and it's 2-0 to Pavin Parks. Two-0 offering. Parks goes down and gets it, sends it out to right field. Will Robertson, battling the sun, will move back on it and make the catch for the out that retires the side. A couple more hits for the Gatemen, another run in. They lead 2-0 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. We're going to send it out to a quick break, and when we come back, our host J.D. Rachi will have our first look around the Cape League.
At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Back to Lowell Park in Cotuit, the Gatemen with the 2-0 lead over the Kettleers, but there are a few other games going on around the CCBL right now. Out at Red Wilson Field in Yarmouth, the YD Red Sox trying to bounce back from a loss to the Brewster Whitecaps last night. They're out to a strong 5-2 lead in the bottom of the second inning against the Orleans Firebirds. Noah Campbell with a 2-run homer for YD. Meanwhile, the Brewster Whitecaps, they're trying to extend their winning streak to 3 games, beat Wareham a couple of days ago, and then yesterday beat YD. They're at Stony Brook Field versus the Harwich Mariners, but right now Harwich has an early 5-1 advantage in the top of the second. 3 different Mariners have RBIs. Finally, 2 other games set to get going in the next hour or so. First at 6 o'clock, the Falmouth Commodores host the Hyannis Harbor Hawks at Arnie Allen Diamond at Go Fuller Field. And at 7, the Bourne Braves head to Veterans Field to square off with the Chatham Anglers. 2-0 the lead for the Wareham Gatemen, and back for the play-by-play, here's Cameron Stewart.
Thanks as always, JD. Little Mason Ramsey on the speakers here at Lowell Park ushers us in to the bottom of the third inning. 8, 9, and 1 expected in the Kettleers lineup. Zach Humphreys, the catcher, will start things off after his teammate Brady Smith was picked off of first base to end the last frame. And he gets a hold of one down the left field line, and this one is going to hook just foul. And this is going to make the coaching staff irate for the Cotuit Kettleers. Third base coach has tossed his helmet. Bullpen is complaining as well. From this vantage point, we have a pretty good one down the left field line. That looked like it might have actually been a homer. I don't know if there's anything they can do about it now, but Zach Humphreys with a hard line drive down the left field line that just snuck over the fence and apparently on the wrong side for him. And still irate, the third base coach shouts at him to run home. He's going to cross the plate, but as of right now, it's just a loud strike. And now they signal home run. And it looks like they got it right. Zach Humphreys with a solo homer and an absolute rocket down the left field line. 320 down the line in left field here at Lowell Park. And he just sneaks it over. So they have the lead on one swing. It's now 2-1 Gatemen. Not often do you see that, but in a week where we've seen a protested game overturned with no instant replay, the umpires get together the old-fashioned way and signal home run, and that's going to bring Don Snedden out of the Wareham dugout now to plead his case. He's got to be a little upset that they can just get together like that. It was the third base umpire, of course, who made the foul call, and he has the best look out of all of us. So he's pleading his case right now, and as it stands, it's 2-1 off the solo homer. Must make Brady Smith feel pretty bad that he was picked off to end the last inning, or that could have been a 3-run job. Instead, a solo shot. And Ryan Garcia will take some warm-up tosses as we wait to play baseball again. Don Snedden has said his 2 cents, and now he is back to his own dugout. And we're ready to play once again in the bottom of the third. So homer for Zach Humphreys, if you didn't already know. Now his TCU teammate Adam Oviedo will stride up to the plate. Shortstop batting 9th today. After all that, takes the first pitch for a called strike on the outside corner. .01 is going to be swung on and missed, and a pitch low and away, so Oviedo is quickly down in the count, 0-2. Oviedo going to take this one for ball one. He's hitting .218 on the year. 3 doubles, a triple, a couple of homers for him. But only 9 RBI, even with all those extra base hits. And this one is going to be swung on and missed. It's going to get away from Martellini and all the way to the backstop. So down to first base goes Oviedo. And what is the 4th strikeout of the game, that is still brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. But unfortunately for Garcia, Martellini, and Wareham, that gets Oviedo down to first base. After thinking he had bounced back after giving up the home run, it's now the top of the order, and a man on first, still nobody out. Zach Bierman will step up to the plate. First one runs inside, up above the knees of Bierman for ball one. Garcia trying to bounce back in this inning, gets one there off a 91-mile-an-hour fastball that Bierman swings right through. That evens the count at 1-1. to the Cotuit designated hitter. This one's going to be popped up. Left field side, Paven Park's going out. A longer run for Ryan Kreidler, but he's seeing it the whole way and will make the catch over in foul territory for what is now the first out of the third inning. So 1 out, man on first. Hard-hitting and red-hot Michael Tolia will step up to the plate. Tolia out of UCLA, only at 206 on the year, but 3 homers for him all in the last week, 9 RBI. The tall first baseman. Change up, misses up high for Garcia, so he's behind in the count 1-0. Normally the first baseman, I should say. Tolia is playing left field for Cotuit tonight. One and 0. This one is going to eat up Martellini and go to the backstop. So down to second base goes Adam Oviedo. The potential inning-ending double play is taken off the board. And the Kettleers, early in this one, still the bottom of the third, have the tying run in scoring position. Martellini comes out to talk to his pitcher Garcia and try to calm him down and work through what has been a tough inning for him so far. Thought he had a loud foul ball to Zach Humphreys. Instead, it was ruled a home run. Then thought he had a strikeout against Oviedo, but he was able to reach at first base, and now it's second. Next offering to Tolia, just missing downstairs. Pretty good looking pitch from Garcia. But instead of 2-1, it runs the count further in Tolia's favor, 3-0. Get me over fastball does just that on the inside corner for a called strike one. Taking all the way was Tolia, excuse me. A look back at second base. Garcia will fake the throw there. No one covering for Wareham, but back into the second base bag is Oviedo. This one's going to get down in the dirt. And Tolia will trot down to first base with the second walk of the game issued by Ryan Garcia. And there's runners at first and second now ahead of Thomas Dillard. Dillard is 0 for 1 today. He struck out in his first at-bat in the first inning. Garcia at 43 pitches, about to be number 44. That runs too far inside to Dillard for ball one. And here just the bottom of the third inning. He's only really labored in this inning. Faced one over the minimum in the first two. This is now the fifth hitter he will face with only one out. High pitch is just too high, and holding up is Thomas Dillard. That puts the count in his favor, 2 balls and no strikes. Garcia's 2-0 is going to be popped up out behind the backstop. It's going to stay in play, and Martellini right in front of the chain-linked fence will make the catch. Kept his distance from the fence and just scrapes it off it to make the catch for out number 2. A big out there for Ryan Garcia. Keeps guys stranded at first and second, and now there's 2 gone in the inning. So Will Robertson will now step up. He's another strikeout victim, his first time up, to lead off the second inning. will now try to drive one in the third. First pitch is a beautiful one on the outside corner for a called strike one. Next offering to the Creighton Blue Jay will bounce down low and in the dirt. Robertson lays it off. And it's 1-1 now, the count. Sitting 244 on the year for them, a couple of homers and 13 RBI for the man who is batting cleanup tonight for Cotuit. The 1-1. This one going to miss downstairs once again. And that puts Robertson ahead of the count, 2 balls and a strike. Adam Oviedo at second. Michael Tolia at first. 2 outs in the inning, and already one has been brought home for Cotuit. And Garcia is in danger of loading him up as this one's belt high but too far inside. And it's now 3-1 the count to Robertson. Right-hander Garcia, big pitch upcoming, 3-1, is roped down the right field line, but foul. Robertson got the one he liked on 3-1, but just wasting it down that right field line. And now a full count with 2 outs in the inning here in the bottom of the third. When we come back, the top of the fourth here on the Gatemen Baseball Network, we will be joined by a very special guest. The 3-2 is going to be rocketed out to left center field. This one could be trouble. Iden's moving back on it, though, will track it down and make the catch for the 4th out of the inning for the Gatemen. And that leaves 2 stranded for the Kettleers. But they get one back on the solo homer by Zach Humphreys. We head to the 4th inning. 2-1 Gatemen still in the lead here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Stop by the Ansel S. Gurney House, where you will find a unique shopping and dining experience. Whether shopping for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, you'll find what you're looking for in one of the 11 themed rooms. There's also a cafe serving fresh homemade lunches overlooking the extensive gardens. The Ansel S. Gurney House is located at 403 County Road in Marion.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the Gatemen Robertson's GMC Youth Clinics. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gatemen.org or through forms available at the merchandise booth.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Back here from Lowell Park in Cotuit into the 4th inning. Alongside me is Henrique Demore. I'm Cameron Stewart. A 2-1 lead for the Gatemen on the Gatemen Baseball Network. We are joined now by a very special guest, a newly inducted Cape League Hall of Famer, Peter Gammons. Peter, how are you?
I'm doing really well. This is. I particularly love this ballpark, but I always loved it. The Cape League is just so much fun, and it's really. It's incredible to watch guys go through and watch them go up to the major league. Some guys will hit like 128 in the Cape League and end up being like Brandon Crawford ends up being one of the generation's best shortstops. So it's he always told you never talked to me. I didn't hit 130, but you could have talked to me at least.
John Martellini bouncing out to the pitcher there on the first pitch for the first out of the inning. Now Ryan Kreidler will stand in. Peter, just tell me, big of an honor for you. You've been tracking the Cape League for years. To go in this year, how's that feeling?
It's a tremendous feeling. I mean, I really do love it. I live down here now full year round. I mean, I've been in the Cape for 25 years, but and the league means so much. It's I mean, I used to drive down to watch like the All-Star games, and then when I lived here, it was really fun. And some of the guys that known from my first couple of years living down here it's been great to sort of they really don't normally forget it. I mean, one of the first person I ever met was Mark Kotsay when he was playing at Bourne, and he was working in a grocery store. I'm, picking up stuff, and all of a sudden I noticed out of the corner of the eye that this young guy has told a woman, I'll bag the groceries. And it was Kotsay. Hi, I'm Mark Kotsay. I might know who you are. You're the best college player of all time. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. This is now a 1-2 count to Ryan Kreidler. So you've mentioned, do you think Lowell Park is your favorite one to go to?
Yeah, I just think it's so different. I mean, there are a lot of parks I love down here, but it's just, this is so sort of Americana baseball. And it's also the first time I met Eric Burns, and he was practicing running into the fence, so at least I got to know him the first time I ever met him.
Pretty off-the-wall guy, Eric Burns. I think I can believe that one.
He's actually brilliant, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
UCLA guy. UCLA's Ryan Kreidler is going to bounce out to the shortstop there, 6-3 on the putout. There's quickly 2 down in the inning.
Now you mentioned Kotsay, if I could butt in here, Cam. What other relationship? Obviously been involved with the Cape League in a tremendously long time. What other relationships, either professional or player-wise, have been some of your most rock-solid ones from your years here?
I mean, there have been actually a lot of them, but one of them, because he is such an incredible person, is Darren Erstad. He played in Falmouth, and in the afternoon he'd be out there practicing his punting because he was a special teams captain on the football team at Nebraska. And I swear he must have walked every old lady in Falmouth across the street. He was the most beloved player I think I ever knew.
Wow.
And I'll tell you another one, Mitch Moreland. I was sick that summer, but people born and they'll go, he's like the nicest person who ever played here. And
wow.
That was a big deal. He didn't make the Cape League All-Star team, but he did make the American League All-Star team. So.
Well, there you go.
The 1-1 is going to be cut on and missed by Jacob Goldfarb, puts Baker ahead of the count 1-2. Now, you've been around this game a long time. Have you seen anything like that since the replay era that we saw last inning, an overturned home run, overturning the third base umpire's call?
No, but I heard about one, and this was way before I started coming to the Cape. It was a real character who ended up scouting for the Yankees. He was managing Falmouth, and there was a debate about it, and he got thrown out of the game. So he went out in the parking lot and let the air out of the tires of all the umpires.
Wow.
There you go. We don't have any of that tonight, although we might have after that was ruled foul. They were irate over there. Goldfarb bounces it to second, and that's going to be a very quick inning. Pete, do you think we can get you on for one more half after a quick 1, 2, 3?
Certainly.
Thanks so much to Peter Gammons. He will join us in the bottom of the 4th inning as well. Still 2-1 Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Located along the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Distinct assisted living and memory care programs provide personal care services according to each individual's needs. Discover Keystone Place, the best option for meeting the care and support needs of seniors on Cape Cod.
Thanks, guys. So, Ryan, in your last game, you went 5 innings with 1.
Shop from home year-round on Gatemen.org. You can customize your Gatemen gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gatemen.org.
Back here in the bottom of the 4th inning at Lowell Park in Cotuit. It's still a 2-1 Gatemen lead here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. And joining us for his second half inning, Peter Gammons, newly inducted into the Cape League Hall of Fame. Pete, I want to turn the attention a little bit to the big league club, the Red Sox. You've been covering them or been around the team for decades now, and this is their best record at this point since 1978. And I'm sure you remember that season very well.
Very well.
What do you think they need to do this year to avoid what happened in '78?
I think they still have to figure out exactly what they're going to do at second base. Because, I mean, And Dustin kept telling me, I'll be back in September. We'll see. It may be next year. But they need more stability, I think, in the middle of the infield in terms of depth. Probably find a left-handed reliever. They're not going to be able to go. There's very little starting pitching on the market anyway. The one thing that's really happened, and I credit what Dane Levangie and Brian Bannister have done. I mean, for Matt Barnes to go from a guy that was always insecure to be throwing 99 with the highest swing and miss rate on his curveball, it's a totally different mix of pitches. He's become right there in the top 3 or 4 setup guys in baseball now, and I think that's really avoided the need for a huge deal because the prices people pay for relievers now is Washington Nationals could take back all the pitchers they traded to get relief pitchers. They would have won the East this year easily.
It's now a full count to the leadoff hitter in the inning, Ryan Reynolds, and we know Matt Barnes very well, a former Wareham Gatemen.
Yep.
What guy? You've already mentioned a couple of guys that you've seen throughout your years covering the Cape League or being around the Cape League. Is there anyone that stands out among the best prospect that you've seen here?
Well, one that he got ruined by, and it's too bad because he played for Wareham, Matt Merton. I mean, I remember not only is he an incredibly nice person, but he had such great natural ability to loft the ball to right center field. I mean, that's where his power hit breaking balls to left field. He hit 400. I mean, I think he's the only guy in the last 20 years who's hit 400. And the Red Sox drafted him, but the only way they could make the deal to get rid of Garcia Parra in 2004 was to put Matt Merton in the deal. And he went to the Cubs and Lou Piniella, Lord knows why, decided he should hit ground balls. He did break Ichiro's record in Japan, but
wow.
He's back working with the Cubs now. So, and his brother, they were the only brothers team that ever won the home run hitting contest at the All-Star games, and he's now scouting for the Giants. I've seen him here on the Cape this summer. So,
couple of quick outs in the inning. Ryan Reynolds bounced out to shortstop, and then a horribly botched bunt attempt by Duke Ellis, his Texas teammate, was caught out of the air by Ryan Garcia. So he's got a quick 2. Pete, let me ask you on the flip side, is there anyone you saw who just couldn't get it together in the Cape League who became a star?
Well, I could go back to Brandon Crawford. I mean, I do remember seeing him play, and it was like out of UCLA. He was touted as being a pretty good player, and he really struggled here. And now he's, historically good shortstop on 3 world champions. And the good thing about this, what I like about the Cape as opposed to playing in college, is that it gives players the opportunity to figure out themselves what they're doing, not what somebody else tells them they should be doing.
This one's going to be bounced to second. Saheed Valenzuela will gobble it up and throw it over to the covering Ryan Garcia for the out that retires the side. Don't want to keep you here anymore, Pete,
but thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on. Peter Gammon's the newest Cape League Hall of Famer, joining us here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. 2-1 our score. We'll be right back.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
The Gatemen wish to thank Patty Wild and the trustees of the John Wild Charitable Trust for their continued support of Gatemen Baseball in Wareham.
Head on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located just off Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the scrumptious fare or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. The Gatemen thank BB's Bar and Grill for their support.
Back here for the 5th inning. Now it's just me and Henrique Demore. I know that's a bit of a letdown for you on the Gatemen Baseball Network, but it's a 2-1 Gatemen lead as we head to the 5th. Still John Baker out there, who has been cruising along the last few innings. 1, 2, 3 set them down in the 4th. And for the Gatemen, it will be 9-1-2. Skylar Hunter, Isaac Collins, and Sahid Valenzuela due up in this one. So Skylar Hunter will be the man to try and get things started. He's 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to shortstop to end the second inning. Inning that brought home the first Gateman run of the game. He was actually at the plate when that wild pitch came home. Fouls the first pitch off to the left, or fouls the second one, excuse me. The count's at 1-1 to him. 1-1 down low, and we'll skip to the backstop. A lot of breaking stuff that Baker has featured against Skylar Hunter. Of course, as I just mentioned, the 2 straight wild pitches, both coming in the dirt in his last time up in the second inning. 2-1 is going to be rocketed, but right at the second baseman. Brady Smith didn't even have to move and puts his glove up for the catch for out number 1. So Collins will now step in. First pitch to him is going to miss up high for ball 1. 1 out, base is empty for the Gatemen second baseman. And he is going to rope this one into the right center field gap once again. It's going to get down once again. Death taxes and a base hit for Isaac Collins. 3 for 3 in his first 3 times to the plate today.
My goodness. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Isaac Collins just hitting with incredible consistency. Even that one not incredibly hard hit, but he dropped it in the right spot there in between Ellis and Robertson in right center field. 3 for 3. That's stolen base and a run scored, as I mentioned earlier. I mean, this is the guy you want in your leadoff spot. Contact bat, quick. You can run on the base paths as well. Consistency. He's going to live in this leadoff spot, especially if Idens continues to produce with the power he has. Idens will fall to that 4. I think this will work out perfectly for the Gatemen.
First pitch, the runner is off, and that may aid a double play. No, it's going to be right up the middle, and Oviedo tried to backhand it quickly, and because of that, he fumbles it for a moment, gets it onto first for the out. But down to second goes Isaac Collins. So a productive ground out for Sahid Valenzuela. Moves a man into scoring position. And you mentioned it, Henrique. Isaac Collins, the last couple of times, has kind of taken the Ed Roush approach. Hit them where they ain't. Not exactly tearing the cover off the ball, but has found a way to start 3 for 3 on the night. Jeremy Idens will now stand in. Baker checks back, but trotting back into second base is Isaac Collins. First pitch to him now is going to be cut on and missed on a pitch down low and away, so Idens is behind in the count 0-1.
Okay, so it's not that big
0-1. It's going to be cut on and sent out towards right center field. This one's holding up, though, and Duke Ellis will get over there for the out that retires the side. The Gatemen leave one stranded, but still cling to that 2-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Head on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food.
Established in 1877, TM Riders, a family-run insurance agency located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Riders' goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers, but they really value giving the best service they can provide. Visit the office on Thatcher's Row if you would like P&C insurance information, quotes, and policies.
The 2018 Cape League All-Star Game will be played at White House Field in Harwich, Sunday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., gates open at 2. One highlight will be the Cumberland Farms home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Support the Gatemen in part by purchasing your ticket right now at the merchandise booth. Tickets are just $5.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone. A home run.
Eastern Propane and Oil is the Wareham Gatemen home run sponsor. Each time a home run is hit by a Gatemen player, Eastern Propane and Oil donates a camp scholarship to a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
Back here for the bottom of the 5th inning. We're halfway through this one from Lowell Park in Cotuit. I'm Cameron Stewart, but I'm going to toss it over to my broadcast partner, Henrique Demore, for play-by-play for the remainder of the game.
Thank you so much, Cam. And now a pitching change. We see here the left-hander from Pepperdine is the new man on the hill. That's Easton Lucas. He has been absolutely electric out of the pen, especially in his last couple appearances. He's been really darn good in long relief. Got the strikeout stuff going, not a particularly power arm, but he's been very consistent. He's coming in relief here, and he was one of the guys that I speculated to be one of the replacements for Joey Matulovic and now Connor Lunn, who had worked himself from a reliever to a starting spot. I expected Easton Lucas to do the same, and especially now with Lunn gone. But that's not been the case, but he's been a very steady lefty arm out of the pen for the Gatemen, nursing a 1-run lead here. Garcia, a phenomenal day for him. 4 innings of work, 2 hits. 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's kept the Cotuit bats at bay. The solo home run by Humphreys, all that she wrote for Cotuit. And this pitching change, of course, brought to you by the Bay Point Club, Onset's 18-hole championship golf course. With the driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day and always welcome to the public, so go get to the point. Lucas will face 8-9-1. Zach Humphreys, Adam Oviedo, and Zach Bierman. Humphreys, of course, that solo shot to start things off in the 3rd. A little bit of controversy surrounding that one. Initially ruled a foul ball. But everyone, and I mean just about everyone, darn near lost their minds when the initial call was made, especially third base coach Mike Roberts for Cotuit. Flung his helmet off, got right in third base umpire Brian Trope's face. It was a truly electric scene to watch as ball 1 goes upstairs to Zach Humphreys. Eventually the call reversed, and the Kettleers got their first run of the day.
It definitely looked like they might burn this place to the ground if they kept that one foul.
Yeah.
That whole third base side was erupting, and the bullpen actually got a real good look at it too, down the left field line, and they were the first ones, of course, to start losing their minds on that one.
Lucas now 1-1 to Humphreys. 2 runs, 5 hits, and an error for Wareham. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the home team Cotuit Kettleers. That one in the dirt, 2-1. Wareham 2-0 against these Kettleers, trying to push it to 3-0. Last time these two teams played was at Lowell Park on July 3rd, 8-1. Victory in favor of Wareham and Joey Matulovic's last start. From the windup, Lucas deals. 2-1 misses upstairs, 3-1 now to Humphreys. On deck, Adam Oviedo. 0-for-1, but did reach on a drop third strike. Swung right through a nasty Ryan Garcia breaking ball, but managed to scuttle on over to first as that one got behind Martellini. That one fouled high in the air, first base side. And after a long looping run, Lyle Lockhart dropped it, and it tipped off his glove. So as it rolled foul, it is in fact a fair ball because Lockhart got a piece of his glove on it. What an incredibly tough break for the Gatemen. Lockhart battling the sun the whole way. 1 on, no one out here in the 5th.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. That was an assist from the Sun. He moved out behind the first base bag and into that foul territory in front of the Gatemen dugout, and it just kept drifting back into play. And because it hits off his glove, it's going to be quite an odd reach. They have ruled it an error on Lyle Lockhart, second of the game for the Gatemen. Don Snedden pleading his case I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, I'm not sure what there is to talk about here.
He's 1-for-1 on protest this year, so saying his 2 cents here to try and state his case.
And what I'm hearing through the proverbial grapevine here is that Snedden is arguing that Zach Humphreys made contact with Lyle Lockhart on his way to first base, perhaps disrupting him, so that would be interference on Humphreys should that call hold up.
And I believe that would mean he's out, not just a foul ball. I think with an interference, he would be out.
Yep. Snedden takes a couple steps towards the dugout, turns back around, continues in the face of John Patala. Walking backwards, hands up, now hands down, as he retreats to the dugout. But like you said, Cam, I think that would have been the result of the play. He would have been out on that.
Yeah, fair or foul, I think if it's interference, it's interference. And obviously, that was right on the line. It would have been in the baseline. That the contact, if it was there, would have been made. So that's a couple that a couple of times Don Snedden's had to come out tonight and state his case on a play that has affected the Gatemen negatively.
So now another TCU Horned Frog to the plate. That's Adam Oviedo. Oviedo just finished up his sophomore year. From the stretch, Lucas shows bunt. Pulls back, but that one registers on the outside corner for strike one. Behind the plate, Gian Martellini thought about going over to first. Decided against it. 2-1 Gatemen. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. One on and a dropped pop fly, from Lyle Lockhart. Now shows bunt again. That one, a dribbler up the line. Gonna let it roll. Foul. Finally ruled by John Patel, the first base umpire. That could have been 2 really tough breaks for the Gatemen in a row, but instead just 0-2 on Oviedo.
And that one looked like a Massachusetts construction site. Couple of guys, 3 of them, Lucas, Martellini, and the home plate umpire all standing over it and kind of waiting on things, and then finally calling it foul down that first baseline. It's not been a great bunting night for them. Duke Ellis tried one in the last inning that he shot right to Ryan Garcia on the mound, and this one wasn't too great either. He wasn't able to punch it down, and as a result, it goes foul.
Now one shot over to Kreidler at first, over to second for one, across the diamond. Just called safe. A 6-4 fielder's choice of how it will go down. Lyle Lockhart with a sarcastic smile on his face. Can't believe that call didn't go his way. But either way, the lead runner retired, so Humphreys erased, but Oviedo takes over at first base, 1 away here in the fifth.
Wouldn't be the first time Lyle Lockhart thinks a call doesn't go his way in this inning, but that one was awfully close. In fact, I thought they got him. We don't have a great look down the first baseline, though, I will admit. But it was awfully close. And can't get down the bunt, and instead of having a guy at second with 1 out, you got a guy at first with 1 out. So that's where bunting comes in to the game big time, and why I'm a little upset guys don't practice it more.
That one lifted high and deep into center field. Skylar Hunter reaches back and up and makes the catch, and scampering from second back to first is Adam Oviedo. Long run for Hunter, but he makes the catch. And you heard a collective ooh fall over the crowd at Lowell Park, as I think everyone thought that at least had a chance off the bat of Bierman, but instead he just goes to 0 for 3 on the day. Now a hot-hitting Michael Tolia steps to the plate, 0 for 1 with a walk today, but has 3 home runs in his last 6 games.
That one by Bierman looked and sounded gone off the bat, put a great swing on it. Lucas just left that one a bit too far inside, but holding up out there, not too deep to center field, 397, whereas almost everywhere else in the Cape is over 400 to center field. But Skylar Hunter had it tracked all the way, made it look easy. Made it look easy. Excuse me.
Peel over to first on that one. Tim Carey to John Petula. But he says no go, so Tolia is safe ahead of the count. 1-0 here. Still on first is Oviedo. That one outside, 2-0. Tolia, a teammate of the shortstop Ryan Kreidler, as well as Jeremy Idens, the left fielder today for Wareham. Yesterday, a guy we saw out of the bullpen for Chatham, Nick Scheidler. And Ryan Garcia, today's starter, of course, also UCLA Brew. And a heck of a frame, heck of a pitch. 2-1 as that one catches the outside corner. Lucas sets from the stretch. 1-2 down here in the fifth. The 2-1 pitch. Lifted high, shallow. Right side, foul ground. Lockhart reaches up, makes this catch. Redeems himself with the next three guys retired after he dropped the first one. On to the top of the sixth we go. Still 2-1 Wareham on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field. Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
The Wareham Gatemen thank Reed Custom Soils for your support. Reed Custom Soils is New England's most experienced precision soil blenders and is trusted by over 300 golf courses throughout New England.
At E.L. Morse Lumber, commitment to the customer shines through in every aspect of their daily operations, including their competitive prices, complete product selection, and superior customer care. Visit E.L. Morse Lumber, located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham, for service with a personal touch.
Back here at Lowell Park. My name's Enrique DeMore alongside Cam Stewart. We go to the top of the sixth, and the guy up to the plate now, Lyle Lockhart, followed by Pavin Parks and Gian Martellini. 4-5-6 set to go against a new arm for the Cotuit Kettleers. It's Ryan Leffner. 6'1", 195. St. Louis University, originally from San Clemente, California, not too far from where I hail from, down in Laguna Niguel, California. Right-hander had a tough go at it so far, 1-0 record. Despite 7 relief appearances, the ERA a bit inflated. 12 innings of work has given up the 9 earned runs for a 6.75 ERA. 11 strikeouts in those 12 innings, though, but the 5 walks have presented a little bit of a challenge for him. Like I said, he will face 4-5-6. Lockhart, the center of a couple of plays in the last half inning. Ended up no harm, no foul. And the Gatemen do still lead it 2-1 over these Kettleers, trying to move it to 3-0 against Cotuit before they come to Spillane Field for the second time this year, for the first time since the third day of the year back on June 14th. Well, the second half of a home and home, and then 2 more games against these Kettleers before the season is wrapped up. Switch hitting Lockhart bats from the left side against the right-hander. Half swing on that one, checks it. Little dribbler foul. Final line on today's starter, John Baker. Pretty good outing for him. 5 innings of work, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts.
And the Gatemen were able to do just enough. They've made the most of their opportunities today, scoring one on a couple of wild pitches. Great day for Isaac Collins, obviously, 3 for 3. And a sacrifice fly from Jeremy Idens as well. So no RBI hit yet. They just did enough against their ace.
Just enough, like you said, and Garcia held down the forward on his end as that one catches the outside corner, 1-2 to Lockhart. Does have a single today. That one came back in the third after striking out in the first. Working quickly, Leffner chops that one on a couple of hops over to Smith at second. Fires it over to Thomas Dillard at first base for a 4-3 put out. For those of you keeping score at home, now Pavin Parks will bat with no one on and 1 away. Leffner, like I said, a little bit of a tough go at it this year. That 6.75 ERA contributing to a 4.23 team ERA, among the bottom in the Cape League. From the windup, Leffner here. First pitch chopped weakly foul down the first baseline. We talk about how the power needs to come from this part of the lineup, or just a part of the lineup. Jeremy Idens has provided it for the most part out of that 3-4 spot that he's been batting in the last couple of days, and even out of the leadoff spot before he got moved down there, as that one is sharply hit again over to Smith. Looks like another 4-3 put out, and it is 2 up, 2 down very quickly here for Ryan Leffner and the Cotuit Kettleers. Like I was saying, Cam, Pavement Parks, he's a guy who, a late call-up for the Gatemen, and showed flashes of power. I mean, he had a heck of a year with the Kent State Golden Flashes this past year. And he showed flashes of power, a home run against Hyannis, but since then has not been able to find it with any sort of consistency. A lot of strikeouts for him as well. And now Gian Martellini bats with 2 on and no one on. Or 2 out and no one on, excuse me.
Yeah, and for Parks, I still love that swing he puts out there from the left side. He looks like a major league swing. But he's been getting, when he's not striking out, he's been getting on top of everything. You see that ground out there, everything's been pulled. He hasn't been able to shoot anything the other way, and the pitchers are pitching to him, and he's just giving them what they're asking for, really.
1-1 to Martellini. Over 2 today, swing and a miss, good breaking ball. Way out ahead of it was Martellini. And he, of course, with an exclamation point of a 3-run home run against the Kettleers last time these two teams were at Lowell Park. En route to an 8-1 victory. 1-2. Breaking ball did not miss by much. Man, oh man, what a pitch on 1-2. Martellini held off. Did not get the call from the home plate umpire, but pleased with it is the catcher, Zach Humphreys. And that went in the dirt off the chest pad of Humphreys, and now working himself to a full count is Gian Martellini. Top 6, 2-1 Gatemen. Full count offering. That one hammered into left field. Going to get down for a base hit on a couple of hops into the glove of Tolia in left. Single for Martellini. The Gatemen still alive here with 2 outs. That's how they got their run off the bat of this guy right here. Ryan Kreidler started it off in the second with with 2 outs after the Gatemen went down on back-to-back strikeouts, Parks and Martellini. To start off the inning, Jacob Goldfarb with a walk. And Skylar Hunter eventually bounced out, but Kreidler able to advance on a couple of wild pitches by John Baker from first to second, second to third, and then third to home. Bring home what was then the first Gatemen run of the day. Kreidler takes ball 1 low. He's 1 for 2 with that single. Bounced out to Oviedo his last time up. 6th hit of the day for the Gatemen, sits at first base in Martellini. 1-0, upstairs.
This is kind of not really pertaining too much to the game, but we talk about all these UCLA guys, and when we have the point streak stuff ahead of us, in front of us, all of their headshots look like they're taken in like the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed that.
No, I kind of did. I didn't track it with any sort of consistency, but no, you're right. That one sharply hit over to short. Would have gone a couple of hops over to Smith at second. And they settle for the force for the lead runner, but the side is retired either way. Gatemen strand 1 gets 0. To the top of the 7th we go. Excuse me, to the bottom of the 6th.
Are you hungry? Visit the concession stand for some new menu items. Try fried dough, chicken fingers, or french fries along with your regular favorites, hot dogs, burgers, cold drinks, and ice cream. Proceeds from the concession stand support the Gatemen and the Wareham High DECA program.
Back at Lowell Park in Cotuit, J.D. Rachi here with your second and final look around the Cape Cod Baseball League. And Brewster, the Whitecaps have cut into the Harwich Mariners lead ever so slightly. It's now 5-2 Harwich in the top of the 5th inning. Virginia product Tanner Morris is 3 for 3 with 2 runs and an RBI for the Mariners. Out at Red Wilson Field, Whitey is out in front of the Orleans Firebirds 7-3 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Luke Waddell and Noah Campbell have each driven in a pair of runs for the Red Sox. Meanwhile, a game just underway in Falmouth. The Commodores and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks are knotted in a scoreless tie in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Finally, still waiting for things to get going at Veterans Field. At the top of the hour, the Chatham Anglers host the Bourne Braves, trying to come back from a loss last night to the Wareham Gatemen. Here at Lowell Park, it's 2-1 Gatemen in the bottom of the 6th inning. And back for the play-by-play, here's Henrique Demore.
Thank you very much, J.D. A lot of action going on the Cape. Gatemen, despite their now 2-point lead and 0-game lead over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, hoping that the streaking Falmouth Commodores, who have sputtered a bit as of late, could find some momentum find again some of that momentum against the Harbor Hawks, especially before Wednesday, as the Gatemen did end up winning their protest in the the fifth inning of what became a 9-5 loss at McKeon Park. Harbor Hawks walking away victors in that one. So despite this being the 28th game of the season, the Gatemen do not sit at 16-11. They sit at 16-10. Baseball is a weird game.
Sure is. I'll say.
Swing and a miss at that one. Easton Lucas back to work for Wareham. 3-4-5, Dillard, Robertson, and Reynolds. The 0-1. Swinging a chop foul very quickly, 0-2. Base is empty, so Lucas working from the windup. Strike 2 pitch. Not sure where that missed. Ball 1.
That was awfully, awfully good.
Man,
on the
oh
outside
man.
corner from Lucas. Placed it right where he wanted it, through the needle, and I don't know. Just missed, I guess.
Could not get the call from Tim Carey, but still ahead of the count here. 1-2. That one off the inside, just above the handle of the bat. Chopped towards the Wareham dugout. Still 1-2.
He says, you're not going to give me that outside corner, well, I'll come inside. And Dillard able to just fight it off that time.
Be interesting to see where he goes back to here. The 1-2. Breaking ball tried to go outside again, left it up and away, 2-2. Dillard 250 on the year. Does have 12 RBIs to go with his 12 walks. 15 runs scored as well for the power hitter for Cotuit. That one misses upstairs. Count runs full. Working himself out of that 0-2 count.
Yeah, that's a big pitch for Lucas's confidence here to start off an inning. You never want to start off an inning with a walk, but especially when you were up 0-2 and then on 1-2 you thought you had him. You placed your perfect pitch there and missed.
That one rifled straight back. Count will stay full. We'll do it again. Easton Lucas has not given up a run since a 3-2 win against Brewster, in which he went 5 strong. He's not given up an earned run since the 2-0 loss to Harwich. Way, way, way back on June 16th. That was the first Gateman loss of the year. That one hammered down the left field line and foul. My goodness, he straightens that out. That's extra bases. Would have rolled all the way to the corner, but again, just a loud long strike. Lucas with that 196 opponent batting average. .580 ERA, one of the better ones on the Cape. Starter-like numbers, but just 2 of his 4 appearances have been from the get-go. That one shot backhanded by Parks at third across the diamond. Long throw. Got him. A lot of concentration, a lot of coordination shown there by Parks for a nice 5-3 putout. And Lucas wins the battle against Dillard.
You were talking about if he straightens out that swing, that's where it's going, and he did. And a nice, just having to move slightly off to his left there, Paven Parks. And will make the backhanded attempt. And the long throw over to first base made it look easy that time.
Now with 1 away and the base is still empty, first pitch to Will Robertson, chopped over to Zahid Valenzuela at second, gobbles it up, and gets it over to first. Another quick out. Robertson goes down after swinging on the first pitch. Roommate of right fielder Isaac Collins, and Will Robertson actually playing in right field today as well for the Kettleers. Right now, Ryan Reynolds is the batter. 0 for 1. Had the failed bunt attempt of the century as he bounced it right back into the glove of then Ryan Garcia. But did manage to walk in the second. Got himself over to third base before being stranded. After Brady Smith got himself into a run down between first and second. Swing and a miss on a high fastball, 0-1. Two down, bases empty, 2-1 Wareham. We're in the top of the 6th inning. 0-1, swing and a miss. One high fastball, low breaking ball, 2 quick strikes to Ryan Reynolds. Texas Longhorn teammate Duke Ellis waits on deck. The 0-2 to Reynolds. Breaking ball low, waste pitch, did exactly that, 1-2. Pavement Park's out there at third base. He splits time with Austin Shenton, who you may notice not in the lineup today. First off day of the entire summer. Even superheroes need to take breaks sometimes. The 1-2, chopped hard down the third base line, but foul. We'll do it again, 1-2. Ryan Kreidler, shortstop, sometimes plays third base. Zahid Valenzuela, we've seen him at second and short, but today, this is usually defensive alignment when Austin Shenton hops into that DH spot, left to right in the infield. Parks, Kreidler, Valenzuela, Lockhart. Base is empty, 2 down, the 1-2. Swing and a miss, he got him on strikes. That one brought to you by Langek, Safaris, and Bullard. First of the day for Lucas, fifth of the day for Gatemen pitching. The Kettlers go down scoreless in the sixth. At the top of the seventh we go on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Have fun.
Are you?
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
The Bay Point Golf Club offers a unique collection of 18 championship golf holes, a beautiful banquet facility, and a club host that has a fully stocked pro shop. The Bay Point Grill is a perfect place to grab a meal or watch a game. The course is located off of Onset Avenue in Buzzards Bay. The Gatemen thank you for your support.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line.
Welcome back to Lowell Park, top of the seventh inning. 2-1 Gatemen. Ryan Leffner still on. Worked pretty methodically through his first outing, or through his first inning, I should say. Got a pair of groundouts, did surrender the single to Martellini, but then got Ryan Kreidler to bounce out to the shortstop, Oviedo. And now 8-9-1 set to go. First, the former Kettleer, just 2 weeks ago. Last time these two teams played, he was wearing a Kettleers jersey. Takes strike one from his former teammate, Ryan Leffner. He's 0 for 1 today with a walk and a groundout. Skylar Hunter waits on. Isaac Collins 3 for 3 today. What is new? He will bat third this inning. 0-1, low. Really good frame by Humphreys, but could not get the call out of home plate umpire Tim Carey. 1-1 to Goldfarb, lifted high. Foul, third base side. Running over on it, but running out of room is Ryan Reynolds. Goldfarb, as we mentioned, bit of a career renaissance here in Wareham, actually batting .333 after an absolutely abysmal career as a Cotuit Kettleer. Batting average bottomed out at .053. Had just one hit in his entire Cotuit career. That one came on a 1 for 4 day against Bourne way back on June 27th. Had not done anything since. A couple of big hits so far in a Gatemen uniform, though. 2-2 now to the redshirt junior from Oregon. Still wearing those white cleats I love so much with the green swoosh on the side and the green Oregon O on each heel. 2-2, that one chopped first base side. Going to stay fair for Thomas Dillard, who fielded on a couple of hops and step on the pillow himself. One away here in the seventh. Now Skylar Hunter, the batter. Hard hit ball his last time up, but right into the glove of Smith over there at second base. Also robbed of an infield single earlier by Adam Oviedo. Nifty play for him. Drops a bunt down the third place line. This one is a beauty, but just foul. Very well hit, but rolled down the lip of the grass into the third base line, of the dirt section of it, rather. The momentum carried it foul. Ryan Reynolds over there to collect it. 0-1. We know that Hunter is fast. He's shown that in center field aplenty. On the base paths, he has done so as well. Can drop down bunts with the best of them. Has bunted for a base hit on a couple of occasions. And is not opposed to doing so as well, even though he has been hitting better as of late. Can use all of the tools in his arsenal, but he's going to send a routine ground ball here to Smith over to first for out number 2. Now with the base is empty, we'll see if Isaac Collins can go 4 for 4. He's got a pair of singles, a double, his 4th stolen base of the year, and a run scored. He has been the hottest hitter on the Cape as of late. Only guy who can maybe hold a candle to that is Dominic Canzone. But yesterday against YD, after putting up an absolute show against Wareham, did go 0 for 4. Collins does take strike 1 here. Sophomore utility man from Creighton wears number 1 at Creighton, tacked a 0 onto it here. Where's number 10 for the Gatemen.
One of the area's best restaurants is
Red
located...
Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor...
Stop for him across over to first. Throw took Dillard off the bag ever so slightly, but able to bounce back and make the play. Another nifty 4-3 putout, and Collins is hitless for the first at-bat all game. Stretch time here in Cotuit, but before we send you to break, our merry orders got a chance to catch up with head coach Don Snedden, and we're going to go to throw it to Mary right now.
Thanks, guys. So, Don, there was a play back in the 5th with Lyle and a dropped ball and what could have been player interference. What were you talking to the ump about on that play?
Well, we heard 2 sounds. And the first sound was the guy touching him, even though it's not a lot, but it doesn't make any difference. And the second sound was it coming off his glove. So, didn't get the call.
And the first half of the game was definitely a battle of the aces. What did you like out of Garcia tonight?
Well, he kept us in the game. I mean, he made 1 bad pitch there for the home run, and otherwise he did great keeping him off balance. You can't ask that. They're throwing 2-hitter right now through 7 innings.
Coach, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you ever so much, Mary. As we mentioned, that controversial call did not go the Gatemen's way, but ended up not mattering too much as Lyle Lockhart redeemed himself with another nifty play. And on the right side of the field, I mean, it is tough. You're battling the sun pretty much directly here at Lowell Park as it sets over past the first base line, or just behind the third base line, I should say. My apologies, got my directions mixed up here. But a well-done play by Lockhart. We saw Isaac Collins and Skylar Hunter battle for a ball earlier in the game, actually back in the first inning, now that I'm looking back at my scorebook, to rob Zach Bierman of what might have been a double. It just hung up in the air for so darn long, which represented part of the challenge as Skylar Hunter ran about 100 feet or so with his glove, sticking straight up in the air, just trying to block out the sun and also locate that ball. But Hunter, despite an up-and-down season at the plate, man, oh man, has he been stellar in center field. I mean, pound for pound, probably the best fielder, I think, in the Gatemen defense, or at least had the most opportunities to show it. A lot of guys, a lot of consistency in the infield and the outfield. Jeremy Idens has been good in the outfield. Brian Packard, maybe not the speediest guy when he was here, but man, oh man, did he have a cannon. Got to see him gun down a couple guys on the base paths, one guy at home. Todd Lott, I remember, in the second game that Hyannis played at Spillane Field. Made one of the hotter hitters in the Cape currently look foolish on the base paths. But now coming back to earth here at Lowell Park, bottom of the 7th, Easton Lucas still out there for the Gatemen. Not surprising, he's gone 2 innings. Delivers ball 1 to Duke Ellis out of Texas, and has not gone fewer than 3 innings this year. 3, 4, 4, and 5 in his appearances this year. 1-0, hard fastball misses inside, 2-0. From the windup, base is empty, Lucas deals. Swing and a miss. 2-1, that was exactly the pitch that Duke Ellis wanted, that upper inside fastball. And seemed like he timed it okay, maybe was a little behind it, but not much more complicated on that one than he just straight up missed it. Sometimes that's all that happens. 2-1, check swing, foul ball, little dribbler up the right side, spinning, grabbing a throw by Easton Lucas. For out number 1, a 1-3 putout. The momentum was taking Lucas bare hand side. Instead, he opted to backhand it, spin around, go where the momentum was taking him, and flip it over to Lyle Lockhart Jr. at first base. Now 7 straight Cotuit Kettleers retired for Easton Lucas. Now Brady Smith, the batter. My apologies. Smith 1 for 2 today. One of just the 2 Cotuit hits here in today's game. Ryan Garcia, stellar outing as that one is ball 1 in the dirt. 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts for the sophomore from UCLA. Now the redshirt sophomore, not too far down the road in Southern California at Pepperdine, trying to relieve his fellow Southern Californian. That one in the dirt, 2-0. Saw him bounce out of that count against Duke Ellis. Managed to get him to 2-1 before inducing a weak ground ball. See if we can do something similar against Smith. Brady Smith, 1 year under his belt in the SEC at Florida. 2-0, catch the inside corner, very well placed. Little cut fastball that dove inside barely to the righty Brady Smith. The 2-1. Breaking ball in the dirt, 3-1. From the windup, the 3-1 pitch. Fastball blew it by him. Very nice pitch from Lucas. Straight up on that one, 86 on the gun. But after the breaking ball, went with the fastball. Now we see if he uses that as a setup pitch to go to the breaking ball. Lucas with just 1 strikeout today. That's definitely not his MO. His MO is the weak contact and gets a weakly hit fly ball. Right side, foul ground. Going over on it is Lockhart. And everybody yelling foul as that one dings off a tree. Out of play, so we'll do it again. Count remains full. Smith settles back in. Martellini setting up low and in. Gets it right there, and that one is hammered. High and deep into right center field. Collins and Hunter converging on it. Collins calls off Skylar Hunter for out number 2. Move that to 8 straight retired by Gatemen pitching. Actually, really just by Easton Lucas. The only guy that wasn't retired is the guy that's up to the plate right now, Zach Humphreys. He reached on that drop pop fly by Lyle Lockhart. But before that even, it was 5 straight retired. So if you don't count the error, a long string of success for Gatemen pitching. The last real error was the walk to Michael Tolia. And if you don't count that as an error, as strike 1 bounces in there at the knees. You go back to the leadoff home run by Zach Humphreys. That came all the way back in the top of the 3rd inning. The only scoring action for these Cotuit Kettleers. The 0-1. Hard fastball again. This one misses though, 1-1. Two down, bases empty, 2-1 Gatemen. We're in the bottom of the 7th. 1-1 offering in the dirt, 2-1. Easton Lucas, as I had alluded to it earlier, I thought he was going to be one of the guys to hop into the starting rotation as more and more starters keep getting picked off this Wareham rotation, but not the case. That one weakly chopped over to third. Pavin Parks across the diamond. Nice splits and a scoop from Lyle Lockhart. Man, oh man, we've seen some great plays out of him over at first, and another one to add to the annals for the Houston Cougars. Cotuit Kettleers go 1-2-3 here. Pair of groundouts and a flyout. Easton Lucas through 3, and we are through 7. To the top of the 8th we go. Gatemen lead it by 1 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Deshays is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
Get Gatemen gear. Check out the latest styles and colors of your favorite Gatemen apparel. Also in stock, a large selection of Cape League items, including tickets to the All-Star Game. Test your pitching speed and pick up a souvenir ball, all at our merchandise booth.
Welcome back to Lowell Park, top of the 8th inning here in Cotuit. 2-1 still in favor of the visiting Wareham Gatemen. 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for Wareham. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the home team, Cotuit Kettleers. Still the right-hander Ryan Leffner entering his 3rd inning of work after Cotuit ace John Baker delivered another stellar start. But Ryan Garcia has just been better, as well as Easton Lucas. You got to give him some credit as well. Leffner has been good against the Gatemen, just let up the 1 single, but has retired everyone else he's faced. Baker 2 earned runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts out of Ball State. And Leffner, like I said, has been darn good for Cotuit as well. He's kept them in this one, but the Kettleers running out of options here. 6 outs to go for them, but right now the Gatemen will try to extend this 2-1 lead, and they'll start it off with Zahid Valenzuela. He is 0 for 3 today. Had a big 2 RBI double yesterday against the Chatham Anglers, part of a 9-2 shellacking of the team from out east. Strikeout and a pair of bounce outs today for the Cal State Fullerton Titan. That one in the dirt, 1-0.
And I was especially impressed with Ryan Garcia tonight in that 3rd inning. It was the home run, was the first hitter of the inning. Obviously, that was overturned from a foul ball to a homer. The wild pitch after a strikeout, and then he advancing, that was Oviedo who advanced to first, advanced to second on another wild pitch, and the body language was starting to get irritated for Ryan Garcia, but he was able to bear down and work around another walk in that inning, put 2 guys on base, and was able to get the next 2 guys out after that. So he really did bear down, and I like the way he handled himself, especially in that inning.
That's the kind of stuff that doesn't really show up in the stat line, as now the count goes to 1-2 on Valenzuela. Is you wouldn't think he would have been frustrated at really anything with himself, given the performance that he put up today. Gave up just the solo home run as well as another base knock, which came back in the 2nd inning off the bat of Brady Smith. That one on the outside corner rings up Valenzuela looking. He goes down via the K for the 2nd time today. First strikeout of the day for Leffner. 1 up, 1 down in the 8th. Bases empty, 1 out for Idens. 0 for 2 with 3 flyouts. 1 of them has driven in a run. Drove in Isaac Collins. That one is blooped weakly down the 3rd base line, 0-1.
That was back in the 3rd inning. That's the last run the Gatemen have scored.
Seems like so long ago. Just past the 2-hour mark in this one. First pitch at 5 here at Lowell Park without any lights. The 0-1. Looked like maybe a changeup that didn't drop off any. Tried to get a swing and miss on the high stuff, but Idens holds pat. 1-1. Swing and a miss on that breaking ball, though. Very sharp, good stuff from Leffner. 79 on the gun. 1-2, 1 away, 2-1 Gatemen in the 8th. Lockhart waits on deck. He's 1 for 3. The 1-2. That one lifted high, but routine. Out to left field. Totally under it. And he makes the catch for out number 2. That'll push Idens to 0 for 3, but again with that sac fly in the 3rd. So a relatively productive day at the plate for him. Lyle Lockhart, a more conventionally productive day. 1 for 3, strikeout, ground out, and a single. Also back in the 3rd inning. Switch hitter batting left-handed for the 2nd time against the righty Leffner. Here's the first bat he saw when he made his appearance starting in the 6th inning. Takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Sun just peeking over this tree line here. That one is fouled off his foot, 0-2. Not that I played a ton of baseball in my day. I did stop in high school, but I've never fouled a ball off my foot.
Lucky. You're one of the lucky ones, Enrique.
Which, I mean, just statistically, that's incredible, right? I mean,
it really is.
I've come close a few times, but Never directly off my foot. 0-2 swings at the breaking ball, sends it weakly over to first. Dillard will take it himself and steps on the first base pillow for out number 3. The Gatemen go 1-2-3 yet again. We go to the bottom of the 8th here from Cotuit. Kettleers try to even this one out. They trail 2-1 on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored by Robertson's GMC, the truck professionals, located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham. We are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018. Robertson's GMC. We are professional grade. Power like a pro.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris & Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Welcome back to Lowell Park, bottom of the 8th inning here. Sun starting to creep down over that tree line like I had mentioned. 2-1 Gatemen, though, and the sun's starting to set on the Kettleer bats. They've got 6 more outs to figure out the Gatemen pitching, which has been absolutely lights out today between Ryan Garcia and Easton Lucas, the greatest long reliever in all the land. The Gatemen have had a 2-1 lead pretty much safe, as the scoring happened often and early in the early goings of things. Wareham scored 1 in the second on a wild pitch, brought in Isaac Collins in the third on a sacrifice fly. Cotuit answered back with a solo shot by catcher Zach Humphreys back in the bottom of the third inning. 6 since then, goose eggs across the scoreboard. Now ball 1 comes in high to Adam Oviedo. 9-1-2 set to go against Lucas, Oviedo, Bierman, and Tolia. No hits between the 3 of them. They have reached base a couple of times. Tolia with a walk. Oviedo has reached base via the drop third strike. And the 4-6 fielder's choice. That one niftily fielded on a sharp ground ball right back to Lucas. Right near his right shoe. Goes over to first for out number 1.
It's a nice play by Lucas on the mound. He benefits a little bit from the way his motion goes. He's kind of leaning that way that the ball came, just a step to the left of the pitcher's mound. But still, great for him to get that glove down instead of just kicking it. Gets the glove on it and runs it over to first base. Always a tough play, those comebackers, because they're coming back hard.
Yeah, not a lot of time to react. Just proving the stereotype wrong yet again. Breaking ball drops in there for strike 1. Pitchers are, in fact, athletes.
Sure are. I never complained with that one. I never argued with that.
No. A lot of people do, though.
For the record.
A lot of people do, though. Well, although they only play every 5th day, they just got to do one thing over and over again until you see them make some cat-like plays off the bump there. All that goes out the window.
Bartolo Colon is an athlete, Henrique.
You're dang right he is. Swing and a miss on that one in the dirt. Got him to chase on a pitch in the dirt. Bierman very quickly down 1-2. Junior from Coastal Carolina, 0 for 3 today. Designated hitter batting in the leadoff spot. Usually we see him in the 3-4. But some lineup changes here for Cotuit. Have not helped them today against Wareham, though. Just 2 hits for the Kettleers. 1-2. Thought about it, but that fastball sails about neck level 2-2. Bases empty, 1 out, 2-1 Gatemen in the bottom of the 8th. Pitch to Bierman, that one hammered foul into the Cotuit dugout. Off the screen and dropped into the Cotuit dugout. Actually pretty harmless if that one would have came in full speed. Might have knocked someone's lights out. That one gets delivered to a ball boy. I was going to cart it over to some fans maybe. Actually, might just hold on to it now that I think about it. 2-2. Ooh, got him right in the shoulder. Bierman turned out of the way of that one and bears the brunt of it on his shoulder. Now the streak of 10 straight Kettleers retired broken, but still not a base hit given up since way back in the third inning, that home run to Zach Humphreys. And the last time these two teams played, Joey Matulovic surrendered just one hit over seven innings of work. The Kettleers have not been able to figure out how to hit the ball consistently against Gatemen pitching here at Lowell Park. But the tying run is on first, as the Gatemen really haven't done a ton else, or a ton more, I should say, against Cotuit pitching. Pick off over to first to Bierman.
Yeah, and that last one, you got to think Bierman's lucky to get on. Is just trying to be a breaking pitch from Easton Lucas, and just didn't quite fall out of his hand right, and it doesn't break. It runs inside and gets Bierman, obviously not intentional.
Breaking ball misses outside, 1-0. Those of you keeping up with that Hyannis score, JD helped us out in the third and the sixth, but the Falmouth Commodores have taken that 1-0 lead. That's big for the Gatemen's division title hopes. As we get into the dog days of July and the season starts winding down, 44-game schedule. 16 games to go after this one. Lucas comes set for the 1-0, kicks and fires. That one lazily hit over towards the Gatemen dugout. Lockhart coming over on it, but it clangs off the top of the dugout out of play, 1-1.
Man, only 16 games left in the regular season, Enrique. You just dropped that bomb on me.
A little over 2 weeks, yeah.
It's hard to believe.
It is.
It's hard to believe. Midway through July now. Hard to believe I've had to deal with you for a month.
I know. Not many people can do that.
Christ, I'm still here.
You're in an elite group. I'll give you that.
I'll take it.
Fenway workout, the closest off day on the calendar, I should say. 1-1. Heck of a pitch, 91 fastball. 91 mile an hour fastball out of the hand of Lucas. Catches the outside corner, 1-2. And then squaring off against the YD Red Sox later today. Of course, not an off day, but that'll be played over in Hartford. That should be exciting over at Dunkin' Donuts Park. And a couple more off days. A lot of games against Bourne and Cotuit as the schedule winds down. 1-2, hammered foul over our heads here. We'll do it again, 1-2. We are positioned, the whole broadcast team, Trevor Russo, our producer, myself and Cam, JD, our host today. A little fold-up table with some chairs right behind the Cotuit Old English seat. Right in front of us, well, maybe not right in front of us, 320 feet in front of us is the left field foul pole. So we're just off to the right, but basically behind home plate. The 1-2 breaking ball got a piece of it, dribbles it over foul down the third base line.
Or what we like to call luxury.
Luxury. You're dang right.
I've had worse setups than this. It's not bad.
No, this isn't bad at all. At Chatham, they set us up about 5 or 6 rows back in the bleachers, or just behind the bleachers, I should say, which is fine. You get a good view of everything. That's all that matters. No obscured vision. Everything else is pretty much like this. As the 1-2 is skied foul, putting together a heck of an at-bat here is Tolia. 0 for 2 with a walk today. Yeah, pretty much every setup has been some variation of this.
Yeah.
On the road.
Right off the plate. Right behind home plate. Leaning towards one side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And pretty much it. Not many different vantage points.
Yeah, it's really tough to set us up otherwise, to be honest. 1-2, that one skied foul again, my goodness. Umpteenth pitch of the at-bat coming up here between Tolia and Lucas. I'll get you an exact number here, though. 8th coming up here. Tolia's fouled off 4 straight pitches. Only place hit by sunlight here at Lowell Park is right field. Just enough of it peeking out over the trees to allow us to keep playing here. Again, the 1-2. That one hammered foul down the left field line. My goodness. 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Tolia just too far out in front of that one. He went down to get it, but he likes to go after those balls. But because he's too far out in front, it just hooks foul, or else that would have been down that left field line for possibly extra bases.
Lucas trying to win the battle here. Best case scenario, sends that breaking ball low, gets a double play out of it. right in front of him. We'll have to wait. Pickoff throw over to first. Power hitting Bierman, not a particularly notable base stealing threat, but just trying to let him know that he sees him over at first base. Unbelievably small lead over at first. Lockhart still holding him on. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Went with the fastball upstairs. Tolio went chasing, and he swung right through it. Second of the day by Lucas. And that one brought to you, of course, by Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. Lucas wins the battle. My goodness. What a pitch.
Yeah, it's always tough for a pitcher and a long at-bat like that. Going to the 10th pitch there.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings.
And Lucas just showing that lower intestinal fortitude there, saying, I'm just going to elevate the fastball, try and hit it.
Sends another, this one not a fastball, took something off at 0-1 though. Into the zone against Thomas Dillard. Power threat for Cotuit, not much doing here today, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Over at first still is Bierman. Was hit by a pitch before Tolia took the at-bat of the century. That one fouled off straight back, 0-2. Two-one Gatemen. We're in the top of the eighth, or bottom of the eighth inning, excuse me. That one hammered into right field, could get down for a base hit, and it will fair ball. Isaac Collins chases it over to the line, hustling around second and into third is Zach Bierman. Runners at the corners with 2 down for the Kettleers. Tying run is 90 feet away, and the go-ahead run at first in Dillard. Now here comes Will Robertson.
And finally, something to make Easton Lucas sweat a little bit here in the 8th inning. Leaves one just a bit inside, and Dillard knows how to clean those pitches out. And not a very speedy Bierman running from first to third. Don't think he was going to have a chance to score, even if he did have some more speed. But held up there easily, and Lucas got to work, has his work cut out for him. Still 2 outs here for a guy in Will Robertson who's left a couple of guys on base already today.
Can Cotuit take lead here against Wareham? That one mashed into deep right center field. Collins going back on it, still going back, but it's Skylar Hunter with a running catch in right center field. That one looked like it had a shot off the bat of Will Robertson, but just a long, loud out. Easton Lucas, despite the sweat, gets out of the inning. To the top of the 9th we go. Gatemen still lead it 2-1 here at Lowell Park on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
Folks, after the game, be sure to visit El Mariachi on Main Street for the best Mexican food in Wareham. The cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails.
Welcome back to Lowell Park. Top of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Gatemen to pad a lead. I want to make a correction. In the bottom of the 8th inning, the guy to lead it off was not Adam Oviedo. I missed an offensive substitution there. It was Eric Jones, who in a pinch hit appearance bounced out to Easton Lucas. We mentioned that hard hit comebacker. But now another substitution, a side armor who we have seen before and we all know and love, the UMBC retriever out of University of Maryland, Baltimore County. For those of you that don't know, it is Steven Schock. Big number 56, 5', 235. He's built like a house, and he has a .87 ERA. Has not given up a run, earned or otherwise, since June 18th at Bourne. Last time he gave up an earned run was in his 2/3 of an inning pitched in a 5-4 win against YD way back on June 17th. Opponents are hitting .256 against him, and his whip is higher than his ERA, which is interesting. That just goes to show you how good his ERA has been. 10 innings of work usually doesn't go any more than 1 or 2 innings, so they're bringing him in for the 9th to try to hold Wareham to their 2 runs here and keep the Kettleers in it for a potential 9th inning comeback. He'll face 5, 6, 7 Pavin Parks, Gian Martellini, and Ryan Kreidler. 2 hits between these 3 gentlemen today. Parks has 0 of them, however, trying to bust out of an 0 for 3.
And that whip to ERA differential shows me he can get out of some jams. So even if you think you got something going against Shock, you've always got to finish the deal.
Deliver strike 1 to Parks. And again with that sidearm delivery, misses outside with that one though. 1-1. And if you can locate well as a sidearmer, I mean, you're darn near gold, and that is just such a weird arm slot for guys to pick up.
You're just so not used to it. I mean, there's not very many still left. I mean, you get very little practice off it.
That one lifted about 1.5 miles high, but into center field routine for Ellis. Drops into his glove for out number 1. Pavin Parks struggles continue at the plate. 0 for 4 today. 8 straight. Retired by Cotuit pitching. Gian Martellini, the batter. Late in the game last time at Lowell Park, smacked a 3-run homer out of here. It takes strike 1 from Shockey's one. Martellini, I should say, is 1 for 3 today. Strikeout, ground out, but singled in the 6th. Checked his swing. He thought about it. It was a ball outside, and no, says the first base umpire. So 1-1 is the count. Should the result hold, Gatemen will move to 3-0 against their West Division rivals, the Cotuit Kettleers. Swing and a miss. Nasty out of the hand of Shock. Started on the middle of the plate and tailed way out of the zone. Martellini had no chance of that one.
Yeah, and he doesn't even keep his head down, really, does Martellini that time, and I think that's the evidence of the arm slot we were talking about. He just never knew where that pitch was coming from and where it was going.
1-2. That one just misses inside. 2-2. Really good pitch on 1-2 from Shock. And, I mean, the flight path of the ball is so different, and the break you can put on the ball, I mean, it's easy. I mean, if you see a curveball coming out of a guy's hand, a right-hander, usually you can tell if I'm a right-hander, it's going to break away from me. That one lifted into right field. Going to get down for a base hit. Might be extra as Martellini chugging around first. He's going to try for 2. Throw coming into second. Will not come in all the way. Cut off by the second baseman, Smith, with a one-out double. Gian Martellini in to scoring position for Ryan Kreidler.
That's good baseball instincts by Martellini. He sends it out there, but it's not like it's rolling all the way to the wall. Duke Ellis eventually gets up to backhand it, but we saw that on the Isaac Collins double earlier. He just knew from the time he saw where it landed that he was thinking 2 and got in there safely like Collins did earlier. So just guys who we've really seen from the Gatemen all year, not dumb or aggressive base running per se, but really instinctual base running.
And taking over the base running duties at second base, I should say, is Oliver Dunn. So he is in scoring position for Kreidler off the Gian Martellini double. And Eric Jones, I mentioned, a pinch hitter for Adam Oviedo at shortstop. He was just a quick offensive substitution. And now on the flip side of things, Michael Salvatore at short. And on deck, look who it is. It's Austin Shenton. So the Gatemen clearly putting a lot of effort between the pinch runner and Shenton on deck into trying to pad this lead of the 2-1 variety over the Cotuit Kettleers here at Lowell Park.
As I mentioned earlier, this is where Shock thrives, leaves guys on base. You mentioned it, higher whip than his ERA, which is very rare to see, but he leaves those guys stranded.
Fake pickoff over to first, Dunn back in there sliding, but no one there to hold him off, either the new shortstop Salvatore or Smith at second. Shock comes set. Working from the stretch. Deals out of that sidearm slot. That one chopped weakly over to second. Dunn retreating to second across the diamond. Salvatore to Dillard, a 6-3 put out. Dunn holds. 2 down for the Gatemen.
Big out there by Schock. Not a productive at bat for Kreidler. With Shenton coming up, you want to put that man at third base if you're going to make any kind of out, and he makes the wrong kind there. Ground ball to the shortstop. No chance for Dunn to get down there to third.
And now a clean substitution into the DH slot, as I alluded to earlier. It's Austin Shenton. So no real days off for Austin Shenton.
Never. Not when you're the catalyst of this team.
Been a catalyst indeed. With the base hits he lost from the protested game in Hyannis, he has actually, for the first time in a long, long time, forfeited to the spot at the top of the league as far as batting average. Matthew Barefoot, heck of a hitter for Hyannis, has taken over that spot. Shenton's still hitting an absolutely absurd .390, though.
And Barefoot actually benefits from struggling in that protested game.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a hit in that game. Maybe one. He was not lighting up the scoreboard in that one. And he gets that taken off his record as well.
So Shenton subs in there for Goldfarb in the 8-hole. Again, just in the designated hitter spot. That one shot foul straight back. 1-1. The count evens to the third baseman, usually for these Gatemen. Today in that DH spot, like I said. Oliver Dunn at second. Gian Martellini, one out double. Dunn pinch running for him there. The 1-1 from Schock. Drops in there, took something off at 73. Drop there at the end. Sharp break out of the hand of Stephen Schock.
We mentioned a couple of times now how tough it is for anyone to read that kind of sidearm release. Think of Shenton. He hasn't swung a bat all day. Now has to come in and see that arm slot and pitches coming in at 73 miles an hour.
1 and 2 will have to wait a little bit. Schock brought his left leg up, but then spun around. And it's weird, because of his funky delivery, that almost looked like a balk to me.
It's still very close.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of those this inning. But like you said, he didn't come forward with it.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Stephen Schock does his job. He retires Austin Shenton. And the Gatemen strand a man in scoring position. Who will they trot out to close it out in the ninth and get the one-run save over Cotuit? We'll find out when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network. 2-1 Gatemen.
Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings to boats. Village Signs has proudly served southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs.
Welcome back to Lowell Park. 2-1 Gatemen. It's Easton Lucas trying to go the distance. 5 innings will be what he's trying to complete here. Ryan Garcia with a 4-inning start. So could he get the save and the win? Is that, or am I that's not possible.
Can't get a save and a win.
Yeah.
So he would fit a couple of save criterion, but cannot get both, unfortunately for Lucas.
Garcia has given up the only run of the day. Solo shot by Zach Humphreys way back in the 3rd inning. Goose eggs across both rows of the scoreboard since. 2 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Gatemen. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Kettleers. That home run in the 3rd was the 2nd Cotuit hit of the day. A single by Thomas Dillard in the 8th was the 3rd. Ball 1 low to Ryan Reynolds, 5-6-7. Trying to do it in walk-off fashion here, or at least send it into extras for the Cotuit Kettleers. But as we run out of sunlight, it'll be interesting to see what, if this game is tied, the extra inning situation will be. That one lifted 1.5 miles high, but foul. 1-1 the count evens. Reynolds 0 for 3 today. pair of swinging strikeouts, also bounced out to Ryan Kreidler at short. One, bounce straight back, 1-2. Luke Roscom has taken over the catching duties as Oliver Dunn pinch ran in Gian Martellini's spot, so Martellini out of the game. Oliver Dunn obviously not a catcher, so Luke Roscom in behind the dish. Won't get to bat unless this game goes deep in extras, but again, don't think that's going to happen. 1-2, missed it upstairs, 2-2. Gatemen nursing a 1-run lead. Lucas trying to tie his summer high as far as innings pitched. The 2-2. Swinging a line drive over the head of Zahid Valenzuela, and the tying run is aboard. Leadoff single into center field for the Kettleers. Here comes Duke Ellis.
Valenzuela does all he can there. Tries to size it up. He was back on the lip of the outfield grass anyway, but just nothing he can do there. Too high for him to get up, and not the way you want to start your ninth inning if you're Easton Lucas.
Now things get really interesting here. The speedy Duke Ellis at the plate. Batting .208 on the year, does not have a hit today, though. Ryan Reynolds at first. No stolen bases, no attempts this year. Drops down the bunt, pulls it back, though. Or should say shows bunt, and pulls it back. Strike one delivered at the knees. As we mentioned, Reynolds, not a speedy guy. Give him every opportunity he can to get down to second. Some get him on, get him over, get him in baseball. Trying to be employed here by Cotuit. Shows bunt again. Drops it down right in front of Roscom. He's going to glove it, go over to first. The 2-3 put out is complete by a hair. Bang, bang play. Lyle Lockhart with a little bit of a stretch to help out Roscom. The home crowd doesn't like it at all. But a 2-3 put out is complete. My apologies, it was actually Oliver Dunn, or excuse me, Zahid Valenzuela coming over to cover as Lockhart crashed on the bunt. So a 2-4 put out. Again, my view obscured by the chain link fence.
And some eager fans. But finally a good bunt drop down for them today. It's the third one we've seen them attempt. And this one just out in front of home plate. Just what you want to get that guy up to second.
And he is at second, otherwise known as scoring position. 1 for 3 is Brady Smith today. Singled back in the second. That was the first Cotuit hit of the day. Luke Roscom out there to have a word with his pitcher.
And there is action in the bullpen as Jim Lawler comes out. Zach Hart, the right-hander, is warming up down in the Gatemen bullpen.
And another timeout here as Jim Lawler, the pitching coach, out on the mound to discuss strategy. And you can discuss investment strategy with Joe Crespi from Merrill Lynch, who sponsors this trip to the mound.
Interesting to see. This would be the 5th inning of work, as Enrique, you alluded to earlier, for Lucas. And this is definitely a killing time tactic we got, and we're actually going to see a pitching change right now.
So a pitching change here for the Gatemen. Easton Lucas's day is done. What a day it was, but could be all for naught as Zach Hart steps in to try and close it out for the Gatemen. Pitching change here from Lowell Park. We'll be right back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment.
Welcome back to Lowell Park. My name's Henrique DeMore. The man to my left is Cameron Stewart. 2-1 the Gatemen lead it. The new man on the bump is Zach Hart, the junior from Franklin Pierce. Electric stuff, maybe more electric hair. Bleach blonde poking out of the back of his hat. He's been a late inning, short inning guy for the Gatemen. Last appearance ended tragically as a defensive meltdown. Dropped that one has allowed it allowed Falmouth, the visiting Commodores of Spillane Field, to put up a 4-spot in the ninth to steal that one from the Gatemen 6-4. Now protecting a 2-1 lead here. Drops a breaking ball in at the knee, strike one. This pitching change, of course, brought to you by the Bay Point Club, Onset's 18-hole championship golf course, with the driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day and always welcome to the public. Do yourself a favor and get to the point. Runner on second, that's Ryan Reynolds. Here comes the 0-1 to the batter, right-handed hitting, Brady Smith. That one low, 1-1.
I think this is a good test as Hart has let loose a couple of breaking balls, nasty ones down in the zone. You now have Luke Roscom into the game, who, is not a natural catcher. You know, it's easy to have John Martellini or Drew Millis back there who are used to it, but the guy as nasty as Zach Hart, we'll see how he adjusts.
That one shot into center field. Weakly hit, going to get down for a base hit. Coming around to score the tying run as no throw is made is Ryan Reynolds. And to potentially extras we will go, but if the Kettleers have anything to say about it, they're going to try to put this one away right here. RBI single from Brady Smith. Tough one as it dribbled into center field with about the force of a snail. And it was no play for Skylar Hunter. He came screaming in on it, but nothing he could do on that one.
Yeah, just a tough play there, a tough outcome as it is right now. You know, they've kept Cotuit quiet for so long. That one run in the game before this inning came on what was originally a foul ball, and what we still think is the right call, the Zach Humphreys home run. Just a tough one to swallow, and it's not even over yet for the Gatemen.
They've got to deal with Smith at first, but now Zach Humphreys, the aforementioned home run hitter, at the plate. The 1-0 to Humphreys. Shows bunt, pulls back as that one sails about neck level, 2-0. Tough one, like you said, for the Gatemen. That one will be charged as earned to Easton Lucas. That bunt popped up straight back, foul. One clangs around the welcome booth under the 10 here at Lowell Park.
And Corey Wood, their normal second baseman for Cotuit, is on deck. He has grabbed a bat and will hit in the Adam Oviedo and then Greg Jones spot, if it does get to him.
Best case scenario, a double play ball ends it here for the Gatemen. The 2-1 shows bunt, drops it down the first base line. This one is a good one. This one fielded by Roscom at the last second, over to first, and it got off the back of the base runner. Holding up at second base, though, is Brady Smith. And now Don Snedden is going to go out there to see whether he can get something, as he's going to argue again runner's interference. And they're going to argue sort of a situation that is familiar to you Red Sox fans out there, which I imagine is a lot of you. They're going to argue that over to first, Zach Humphrey hit his glove. His being Lyle Lockhart's, the first baseman who was covering first. But a very quick argument ends in Don Snedden just going right back to the dugout.
And it's a play if Humphreys is coming in at his normal running motion and it gets in the glove of Lyle Lockhart, that's okay. He's free to go. And he's safe at first. Too bad we don't have Peter Gammons here who covered that 04 ALCS. Of course, with A-Rod in that series, he extended, gave it a little slap, and that's why he was out. I didn't get a great look at it, to be honest with you. We've got fans in front of us, got the chain link fence in front of us, but they had to have deemed that he was in his normal running motion.
So double play still in play here as an option. But like you mentioned, Corey Wood now pinch hitting in his 9-hole spot that offensively and defensively has featured Adam Oviedo, Eric Jones, Michael Salvatore, and now Corey Wood.
And Hart inherited a runner in this inning that came around to score. But if you're the Gatemen, you got to figure out who your closer is for the rest of this year. This is 2 in a row that Hart has come in, and the game has been imploding around him.
Yeah, like you said, maybe tough who you throw the blame on. It was a tight lead. Can't expect perfection out of these guys, but like you said, you got to have a designated closer. Stephen Schock seems like has been that guy, or at least just a late inning specialist anyway for Cotuit. He's been absolutely lights out. And Ryan Stoudemire has looked like one of the better options out of the bullpen for Wareham. He's on a little bit of a shorter leash as it's been less time since he's pitched. And although he's been better lately, he has had some problematic appearances as well. But Hart trying to close it down here, but the Kettleers one base knock away from going home winners here. 2-1, low, 3-1.
That was a really good-looking pitch from Zach Hart.
That was a very good-looking pitch from Zach Hart.
Game of inches, Enrique.
Smith at second, Humphreys at first. 2-2 tie. Corey Wood trying to play hero for Cotuit. 3-1 pitch, shot foul straight back. Wood took a rip at a low fastball and barely got a piece of it.
This is the pitch right here if you're Zach Hart. Almost no matter what, it's going to Zach Bierman, who waits on deck, the top of the order. He's put a ride into a couple today. With 3-2, you really got to worry about Corey Wood and getting this guy out.
The full count offering. Infield slightly in for Wareham. Playing Wood to pull. Payoff pitch, shoots it foul. We'll do it again. Count remains full.
To add on to the woes at the back end of the bullpen, more hits this inning for Cotuit than they had the entire game coming into the ninth.
You're right, Cam. 3 singles and 1 sacrifice bunt has been the only out recorded this inning. 2 on, 1 out, bottom 9 at Lowell. Hart looks back once, twice. Kreidler retreats. I'm going to check over at second on Brady Smith. All eyes on the bump. You could cut the tension here with a knife. The payoff pitch. Swinging a fly ball into center field. Skylar Hunter under it. Both runners hold. A fake tag attempt by Brady Smith. And a big out here to bring Zach Bierman up to bat 0 for 3.
You said it, big out. Skylar Hunter doesn't have to move side to side. He's just moving back on it a little bit. Gets well in front of it so he can walk into that throw a la Dwight Evans, a lot of years with the Red Sox doing that. And because of that, not the strongest arm for Skylar Hunter, not like we saw with Bryant Packard earlier in the year in left field for the Gatemen, but still, with the way he positioned himself perfectly, so neither runner can advance.
So 2 on, like you said, in their original positions as ball 1 comes in high and outside of the lefty, Zach Bierman. Bierman batting .277 on the year, 0 for 3 today. Usually a power guy, see him in the 3-4 spot. But batting leadoff out of the DH spot today for Cotuit. The 1-0. Swinging a hard ground ball foul down the first base line. That could have been trouble.
Sure could have been, and I think without Bryant Packard out in the outfield there, these are some stellar defensive outfielders, but not the strongest arms out there right now. So they're playing deep to try and not let anything get by them, but most singles to the outfield could score the winning run this time.
Smith is quick over at second. The 1-1 to Bierman. Outside. Roskin pops up quickly. Make sure everyone stays in their place on the base paths. 2-1. Cotuit trying to pick up their first win against the West Division leading Wareham Gatemen in this one. Gatemen trying to get out of this inning, maybe win it in extras if we've got enough sunlight. The 2-1 pitch. Swinging a high fly ball foul down the left field line. Bierman got a good piece of the 91-mile-an-hour fastball out of Hart, but just under it. Didn't hit it on the screws, and now just a long, loud strike. Hart 1 pitch away from getting out of a tough, I'll stick with tough, inning for the Gatemen. Deuces are wild. 2 on, 2 out. The 2-2 to the leadoff man, Bierman. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Zach Hart clutches up and strikes out Bierman. We go to the 10th, tied at 2 here at Lowell Park. You're listening to Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you. At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Founded in 1854, the Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company is the world's largest cranberry grower and private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Free baseball coming at you on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Top of the 10th, Stephen Schock still out there, the shutdown reliever for Cotuit. Still rocking that sidearm slot and trying to shut down 9-1-2 for the Gatemen. Skylar Hunter, Isaac Collins, and Sahid Valenzuela, who as of late have been three of the better bats in this Gatemen lineup. Collins especially, 3 for 4 today, obviously. Hunter, a couple hard hit balls today. Valenzuela 0 for 4, however, with a pair of strikeouts.
I look back to that 9th inning on my scorecard right now, the John Martellini double. We talked about Schock leaves guys on base, and Martellini wasn't even able to advance to third. At a big moment in the game right now, obviously.
Strike one on the outside corner to the center fielder, Hunter. Hits from the left side. 0-1 to him. Chops it, off his calf, 0-2. Hunter trying to protect, put something on the ground, uses speed to get over to first. And now Corey Wood, who came in as an offensive substitution in that ever-shifting 9-hole for Cotuit, in at second base. 0-2 sails outside 1-2. So Wood in at second, and Smith, the second baseman, takes over Salvatore's spot at short. The 1-2 from Schock. Swinging a missile over the third base dugout, foul.
We now are officially in tie territory. If it got too dark at some point in the bottom of the 9th, Cape League rules, and they had to call it by darkness, it would have gone to the score that was the full inning before, so the Gatemen actually would have won the game. But no matter now, we are in the 10th.
And conversely, if the Gatemen are to take a lead in the 10th, but the game gets called due to darkness in the bottom half of the inning, a tie. But better than a loss. The 2-2 now to Hunter. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Tried to shorten up there, but couldn't catch up to the breaking ball, on the inside part of the plate. Now Isaac Collins bats with one away and the base is empty.
Yeah, tough there for Hunter. It was a very late swing. He knows that pitch. He's not expecting that pitch. It comes inside, and he knows he's got to protect the plate with 2 strikes. So one of those really late defensive swings. He can't put any wood on it. Bit of a shift here for Isaac Collins.
Playing him to pull like crazy.
Reynolds, the third baseman, is in on the grass, but the shortstop is almost in double play depth. And the second baseman is out, Corey Wood, on the outfield grass. It's the team we've seen in Cotuit do that before. First shift we saw in Austin Shenton was against Cotuit here last week.
And Collins does bat from both sides of the plate, but choosing the statistical matchup here against the righty Schock. But he has pulled almost everything. Sent a single into left his first time up. He was hitting right-handed at that point. A pair of singles into center field. Or actually, a single and a double into center field, But the double, as that one's rifled back foul, actually hit into right center as Collins was hitting from the left side. So history tells you Collins more keen, I should say, to pull the ball here, but gets some on the outside corner, shoots it into that 5-6 hole. Got all the room in the world. 1 out, bases empty, top of the 10th here from Lowell Park. Hot hitting Collins waiting on the 1-2. Breaking ball misses upstairs, 2-2. Actually, I say that was a breaking ball, but maybe just because of the flight path I thought it was a breaking ball, but that came out of the hand of Schock at 87 miles an hour, so could have given you some misinformation there.
Fake news, Henrique. Fake news.
I'm a part of the problem, according to Cam Stewart. That one shot right into the shift. Wood, easy pickings for him, 4-3 across the diamond. 4 out, number 2. Base is still empty. Now Sahid Valenzuela. And sunset today, predicted for 8:16 p.m. Last light at 8:49. So, got an hour till last light, but I doubt we get there.
It's not looking as promising as the Weather Channel might tell us as far as that is concerned.
Well, because here's the other thing, too. When the first pitch comes into Valenzuela, strike at the knees, is the thing blocking out the sun is, yes, part horizon, but also part 50-foot trees. So that quote-unquote horizon, or at least the sunlight line, if you will, gets a whole lot higher, leaving you with a whole lot less daylight. That one fouled off Valenzuela's foot, 0-2.
And these trees are completely surrounding the field here at Lowell Park, so that is definitely a huge factor right now.
Schock 1 strike away from getting out of the inning unscathed. The 0-2 to Valenzuela. Reaches out for it, does a nice job of protecting, sends a foul ball towards the direction of the Cotuit dugout. Still 0-2 though. Valenzuela searching for his first hit of the day. Iden's on deck, searching for his first hit as well. The 0-2. Breaking ball just low. Really good pitch on 0-2. Missed a tad low, though. Broke a bit as it crossed home plate out of the hand of Schock, but still ahead of the count here, 1-2. The pitch. Swinging a hard ground ball, foul down the first base line. Tough one there. Could have had a double on back-to-back days for Sahid Valenzuela. But Dillard actually had that played pretty well. If that was in fair ground, or in fair territory, I should say, Dillard might have had a play on it. He was nimble on his feet and probably could have stabbed a backhanded glove at it.
Yeah, and he's hugging that line like it's his mama right now.
Well said, Cam.
As always.
1-2, shot straight back foul. We'll do it again. Base is empty, 2 down, tie ball game here in the 10th. 1-2 to Valenzuela, fouls it off again, putting together a great at-bat. Has fouled off 5 total pitches, 3 straight. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up right now. From Schock, the 33rd of the outing. The 1-2, Humphrey sets up outside. And it does go way outside, 2-2. Schock takes a deep breath from the stretch, kicks, fires the 2-2. Valenzuela protects, reached out a lazy swing, but got enough of it. Schock gonna have to try to beat him again. Valenzuela, a good, stubborn plate appearance. Trying to keep the inning alive for his Gatemen.
And he's all defensive right now. I don't know exactly what he's looking for, but he hasn't found it just yet. Everything, got to give him credit. He's getting the bat on the ball, but he's reaching out for everything to try and stay alive.
Humphrey sets up outside again. Breaking ball, rung him up on the outside corner. Really good pitch from Schock, 76 miles an hour on the sidearm breaking ball. And the Gatemen go down 1, 2, 3 in the 10th. To the bottom half of the frame we go. Cotuit trying to walk it off. Gatemen trying to send it to a tie. We go to the bottom half of the 10th on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Shop from home year-round on Gatemen.org. You can customize your Gatemen gear from any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at Gatemen.org.
Stop by the Ansel S. Gurney House, where you will find a unique shopping and dining experience. Whether shopping for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, you'll find what you're looking for in one of the 11 themed rooms. There's also a cafe serving fresh homemade lunches overlooking the extensive gardens. The Ansel S. Gurney House is located at 403 County Road in Marion.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the Gatemen Robertson's GMC Youth Clinics. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gatemen.org or through forms available at the merchandise booth.
Bottom of the 10th here at Lowell Park. Cotuit trying to walk it off. Wareham trying to salvage a tie. Zach Hart out to work his second inning. Delivers ball one to the 2-hole hitter Michael Tolia, one of the hotter hitters on the Cape. 3 home runs in his last 6 games. Was robbed of his 4th as well. 1-0 lifted on a missile right into the glove of Jeremy Idens in left field. He hit that one extremely hard, but Idens had him played deep. Very intelligent positioning by Idens on the power hitter Tolia. 1 away here in the 10th.
Yeah, wrong part of the park for him. Idens had it teed up, and he was just moving back. He didn't have to move side to side on that one, so clearly had the scouting report down.
Played it very well, like you said, Cam. That one in the dirt to the 3-hole hitter, Thomas Dillard. Dillard 1 for 4 today, single and a strikeout. Running out of daylight here at Lowell. Would be surprised if we go to the 11th, but they judge that on a half-inning by half-inning basis, or even more frequently. Now the 1-1 to Dillard. Swing and a miss. Hart blew the fastball by him. Letters high. 92 on the gun. Bases empty, 1 out. Will Robertson waits on deck. The 1-2 way up and away. 2-2. Hart led up the Brady Smith RBI single in the 9th inning. But Ryan Reynolds, who scored, as that one is lifted foul, was the responsibility of Easton Lucas. Tried to go out for his 5th inning of work, and after the single and the sac bunt put him in scoring position by Duke Ellis. Johnson and company decided that Easton Lucas' day was done. Hart came on in relief, led up the single. Tie this one up, 2-2 in the dirt, 3-2. Robertson on deck is hitless, but did hit one a long, long way to Jeremy Idens back in the 3rd inning. Since then, a ground out and a fly out. Pat pitch from Hart, swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Luke Roscom picks it up to complete the strikeout. That one brought to you by Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. Hart has come out with a vengeance in the 10th.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say, after allowing that tying run to score an inherited runner and getting a couple guys on, he has really bared down. Gets the fly out from Wood, the huge strikeout of Bierman, and another big strikeout here in the 10th inning. Battling back and with some nasty stuff.
Fastball, that one dribbled over to the 3rd base side. Park gonna have to make a quick play on it across the diamond. And it pokes the glove off of Lockhart and rolls up the right field line. Staying at first base, though, is Will Robertson. So the game-winning run is at first with 2 down for Ryan Reynolds.
I think this one's going to go down as a base hit for the Kettleers. It was just fisted off the bat there of Robertson, and it was such a long run for Parks to get there anyway, and then to make a perfect throw was near impossible.
Yeah, it was going to take a Herculean effort over there from Parks at 3rd base.
and it has been ruled a hit, by the way.
Officially been ruled a single. So now Ryan Reynolds, the batter, as the trainer comes off. As I think, again, our vantage point of the first base line and right field in general, not fantastic, but maybe Robertson landed funny on the bag, maybe tweaked his ankle a little bit. That is the 6th Cotuit hit of the day. And that one bounced right back to the shortstop, Kreidler. This should do it. Eats him up, but he recovers off his right shoulder and over across the diamond to first base. 2-2 still your score, and that's the ball game. The first tie of the year for the Gatemen, and what a tough one as well, as the final run surrendered in the 9th inning. The Gatemen do move to 16-10-1. Finally one in the T column for the boys in red and blue. The Kettleers come out firing initially with that home run by Zach Humphreys. Thought it might have been a different game, but the Gatemen pitching staff, credit to them, between Easton Lucas and Ryan Garcia, and eventually Zach Hart, a really, really good effort put up here by the Gatemen pitching staff. The offense came out firing initially as well, but were stifled in late goings.
Yeah, and it was just those missed opportunities. We highlighted a couple in the late innings, especially in the 9th inning. After a one-out double, you're unable to get that guy even to third, let alone to home, and add an insurance run. Those are the types of things that will come to eat at the Gatemen tonight. It was one the Gatemen should have had. They've really struggled in these tight games in which they come out on top. I mean, they've really struggled in one-run games and save situations. They've blown 2 of the last 3 now, have the Gatemen. So there's some questions that need to be answered in the back end of the Gatemen bullpen that still haven't been answered a month into the season. 16 regular season games to go. You got to figure out something.
So a tough one here as the Gatemen do tie it 2-2. Run out of light here at Lowell Park. Gatemen still have not allowed a defeat to the Cotuit Kettleers, but they will set their sights on the home game. That's Blaine Field between these two teams tomorrow. But for now, we're going to take a break on the Gatemen Postgame Show. When we come back, a little more analysis with our host JD Roach and an interview with our player of the game. Stay tuned.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Located along the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Distinct assisted living and memory care programs provide personal care services according to each individual's needs. Discover Keystone Place, the best option for meeting the care and support needs of seniors on Cape Cod.
The Gateway Tavern, located on Marion Road in Wareham, offers an extensive but not exhaustive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
One of the area's best restaurants is located right up the street, Brewfish Bar and Eatery. Brewfish offers pub food. Check out their off-the-menu brunch with a Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosas on Sundays. Join us for outdoor dining and drinks under the tent, or for live music every weekend, located on Route 105 in Marion.
South Coast Health, operators of Charlton Memorial Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital, and Toby Hospital, delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Health, the best care plus something more.
The Gatemen wish to thank Patty Wild and the trustees of the John Wild Charitable Trust for their continued support of Gatemen Baseball in Wareham.
Head on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located just off Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the scrumptious fare or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. The Gatemen thank BB's Bar and Grill for their support.
Established in 1877, TM Riders, a family-run insurance agency located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Riders' goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers, but they really value giving the best service they can provide. Visit the office on Thatcher's Row if you would like P&C insurance information, quotes, and policies.
The 2018 Cape League All-Star Game will be played at White House Field in Harwich, Sunday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., gates open at 2. One highlight will be the Cumberland Farms home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Support the Gatemen in part by purchasing your ticket right now at the merchandise booth. Tickets are just $5.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone. A home run.
Eastern Propane and Oil is the Wareham Gatemen home run sponsor. Each time a home run is hit by a Gatemen player, Eastern Propane and Oil donates a camp scholarship to a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Welcome back to Lowell Park here in Cotuit, Massachusetts. A 2-2 tie today for the Wareham Gatemen against the Cotuit Kettleers. The first of the season for the Gatemen in terms of the tie column. Fantastic pitching performance for pretty much everybody that came to the mound today. Ryan Garcia got the start, was absolutely lights out. He has been doing it all season and continued to do it today. Easton Lucas strong out of the bullpen until the 9th inning, and then Zach Hart ended up back-ending Easton Lucas in the 9th. Got out of the 9th inning with a tie game, and then later came up and I guess got a hold, I guess is what you might call it here. Maybe not statistically a hold, but was able to hold the game at a tie as we finish this game in 10 innings, and it is suspended and finished due to darkness. Ryan Garcia went 4 innings, gave up 2 hits and an earned run with 3 strikeouts today. Strikeout numbers not as high as they usually are for him, but he's not a big strikeout guy at UCLA, and he's joining us right now. Our player of the game today, Ryan Garcia.
How you doing? Oh, thank you for having me. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, Ryan. You had yourself a nice night on the mound. Strikeout numbers not high today. They have been all season long for you. So what was the difference today? Was it more pitching to contact? Was there a different approach?
Yeah, today was a little different. Obviously, I think my stuff wasn't as good as it usually is. I think I was, falling behind in counts, and that gave the advantage towards the hitters, and they were just sitting on fastballs, and I was fortunate enough for them to, put it in play and have my defense work for me and make those outs. But yeah.
Michael Tolia, your UCLA teammate, one of the Cotuit Kettleers today, was coming in absolutely red hot. 4 home runs over the last 7 days. You walk him, and then you also get him to bounce out into a ground out. What's it like going against your teammate? Does it give you a little bit of an advantage because you know what he's like?
Yeah, we face each other in the fall, so it's nothing new to us as teammates. But I know what he's capable of, and I had an open base there, and I didn't want him, to do some damage there. So I wouldn't say pitching around him, but I was selecting careful pitches there.
And then today, a 2-run effort for the offense. It was a 9-run effort yesterday. Does your approach on the mound change when you've got to protect a smaller lead?
No, I think it stays the same, and I think it's important that it stays the same because, for example, today we only scored 2 runs, and I think if you get that relaxed, mentality, and anything could happen. And for example, that 1 home run could have been 2 or 3, for all we know, but it was fortunate enough to stay at 1. So you always have to keep that same aggressive mentality every inning.
And then how important is it for you as a starter to know that guys in the bullpen like Easton Lucas, like Zach Hart, are going to back you up and continue a good outing?
Oh, it's very important. Easton has done a great job of following me up, and today he did a great job again, and he's been consistent like that the whole season.
Ryan Garcia, our player of the game, 4 innings, 2 hits, just an earned run, and 3 strikeouts, and what ends up being a no decision for him on the day. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
An absolutely dominant pitching performance tonight for Ryan Garcia. He couldn't do much in the ninth because he was already on the bench. This game sort of, I guess you could say, fell apart for the Gatemen in the ninth inning, but it really didn't fall apart. They still salvage a 2-2 tie from the Cotuit Kettleers tonight at Lowell Park. It was an offensive struggle at times today for the Gatemen, but maybe our other player of the game, I guess you could say, we had him on yesterday as our player of the game. He was probably another player of the game today. Isaac Collins starts the game off going single, double, single in his first 3 ABs of the game, and then bounces out into 2 ground outs in the last 2 at-bats today, including in the 10th inning. But an absolutely fantastic performance from Isaac Collins once again. He has been on a tear of late for the Gatemen. The only RBI of the day today for Wareham goes to Jeremy Idens, a sacrifice fly back in the 3rd inning that he flared out to right field. So he picks up the lone RBI of the day for Wareham. Once again, the score from Cotuit tonight, a 2-2 tie, the first of the season for the Wareham Gatemen coming against their West Division rivals, the Cotuit Kettleers. That'll do it for us here at Lowell Park. We want to thank you for listening to this broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andrew Lang. Our sideline reporter is Mary Oders. Thanks to our writer Ian Vicera and today's play-by-play broadcasters Enrique Demore and Cameron Stewart. The next broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball will be tomorrow as the Wareham Gatemen take on the Cotuit Kettleers at home. 6:30 first pitch. We will have the Gatemen Pregame Show on our YouTube channel by 6 p.m. For everyone involved in today's broadcasts, I'm J.D. Rachi. Thanks for tuning in to this presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Once again, your final score from Lowell Park and Cotuit, a 2-2 tie between the Wareham Gatemen and the Cotuit Kettleers. We will talk to you tomorrow night.